What's going on? I am Nando.
And I'm DJ.
And I'm Diggins, Doc.
Very good. And this is Mostly Nitpicking, a podcast where every week we pick apart a piece of corporate marketing. I mean, pop culture.
Yeah.
That's right, you guys. This is a pop culture podcast. And this week's pop culture is, unfortunately, Space Jam: A New Legacy. So we're going to be talking about that real
Before
good.
we get started on the movie, though, and as long as we're on the subject of basketball, I have to congratulate DJ. I doubted him. You know, I expressed a lot of skepticism when he did this, but, you know, he made bold declarations that the Knicks were going to be the NBA champs, and it turns out he was right.
Yeah, I haven't checked. Is that what happened? That's so cool.
Absolutely. The New York Knickerbockers are the 2021 NBA champions.
Nice.
The doubters and the haters like me said it would never happen, but DJ was right, and we should all applaud his wisdom and foresight.
You going to the parade, DJ?
You disgust me. I'm disgusted by all of you. This is a ridiculous bit. I don't even know where this bit came from. I never was like, oh, the Bucks are terrible. The Bucks are never going to win. Blah, blah, blah. Like, I never said that.
Well, no one's talking about the Bucks, DJ. We're just talking about how you were incredibly confident about the Knicks winning, and it turns out you were right.
I thought my bits last week were bad, but these are just terrible. These are awful bits, and they're not good. They're not good.
When they have a ticker tape parade. Oh, so I was just going to ask if they have a ticker tape parade for the Knicks. Did they call it a knicker tape parade? Would we ever find that out? Because
soon.
Yeah, it's going to be coming up this week. They got to get all that tape ready.
Congratulations to Diggins' Milwaukee Bucks on their NBA championship. I'm actually so first of all, I showed this to Diggins last night, but I did bet on the Bucks because I felt pretty confident in their prospects. So I did win some money off them, so that was good. And I really like Giannis. Giannis is probably now the best player in the NBA, and he's like a really cool dude, and I'm happy he won a championship, and he won a championship for his brothers, which is like, in terms of doing something for your brothers, winning them an NBA championship is probably one of the like sickest things you could do.
Wait, like his brothers from birth? Also
yeah, like his
team?
Actual brothers, yeah.
Did they like hire them so that they could also have the championship, or are they like also good basketball players?
They are on the Milwaukee Bucks. They don't play because they're not bad, but they're not like NBA playable in a playoff game. But like everyone on the team gets a ring, so both of his brothers are on the team, so they get rings.
That makes sense. That's a good thing to do. Just hire. What if you had to hire every sibling that you had on the basketball team? You know, like if you want to play the game, your whole family also needs to play for that team. It kind of explains LeBron's awful characterization in this movie. It's like, I just know you're all going to have to play basketball as like fucking Partridge Family, so might as well everybody learn.
I feel like you know, you could be cynical and say, oh, really, the only reason the Bucks have this person on the team is so Giannis will stay and like us. And, you know, that may or may not be true, but, you know, who's to say? Who's to say?
But, hey, it turns out it was worth it because he just won him a championship, so...
I mean, yeah.
Would he be any good in a Space Jam movie?
Yeah, he'd probably be the best player on the court in a Space Jam movie.
Would he be fun to watch?
I don't think anyone would be good in a Space Jam movie because I don't think a Space Jam movie is capable of being good.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, some characters were pretty good in this, like all those sideline characters.
Like the Clockwork Orange boys.
Yeah, is this going to be our
droogs.
First movie with like our first podcast with a content warning because we're discussing the Looney Tunes movie and it just comes up because apparently that nun is also from a really obscure, weird Warner Brothers movie full of like terrible things. I've never heard of it.
It's like X-rated.
Yeah. So that's fun. But yeah, that's going to be good stuff. Good stuff. We're talking about Looney Tunes, or excuse me, Space Jam: A New Legacy. Yikes. Mm-hmm. I'm excited. Diggins, are you excited?
What was the name? I'm extremely excited. What was the name you gave for this movie when I was talking about it earlier, Nando?
Oh, it was for, which one? I forget. It must have been pretty funny because I said it. I don't remember it.
Well, first you called it Flashing Lights: A New Legacy.
Yeah, that's what the guys on the Weekly
Sunday
Planet
movies, right?
called it, yeah. But what was the other one? Jangly Keys, A New Legacy?
Is it in the text? Is it in our text thread?
Watered down Hog Slop, A New Legacy.
Yeah. I couldn't even tell you, but I hate this movie. Well, we'll get to it, you guys, because first...
we don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, one of you gets to fight for control of the thing. So let me give you the information on Space Jam: A New Legacy.
Oh, boy.
Came out this year. It's an hour and 55 minutes long. It's directed by Malcolm D. Lee. Let's see what his deal is.
Yeah, what else has that guy done?
Haven't heard much about this character. Oh my god. Why did they get him? This is the guy who directed Undercover Brother.
Oh, God.
Guys, Undercover Brother. Barbershop, The Next Cut, Soul Men. I'm not joking. These are all the movies. Girls Trip, which is probably not as bad as all the rest of those I just mentioned. Hey, to be fair, Undercover Brother has its moments. But yeah, that's what this guy's from in the Space Jam movie. So we got Malcolm D. Lee. This movie stars LeBron James as LeBron James, Don Cheadle as... You guys, I got a joke for you. This is a funny joke.
All right.
Okay.
Don Cheadle's guy he's a computer man, right?
Yes.
Specifically, it's an algorithm, which means fuck all in this movie, but whatever. They named this character. They could. What did they name? What do you guys think they named him? Mr. Computer, something like that.
Oh yeah, Mr. Sparky Brain Man.
That's yeah.
I assume it's some kind of like Warner Brothers thing, like the like Warner AI or something like that.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Or like,
you know,
whatever the actual Warner is from Warner Brothers, like
Charlton
Warner, and he had a big mustache. But no, you guys, they named him Al. G is his middle name.
Okay.
Rhythm, RHYTHM.
Oh, like he's a rapper? Al G. Rhythm?
Well, you'd assume so because he gets in a rap battle, but he actually doesn't do any rapping.
Hold on.
Yes?
Hold on. Al G. Hold on.
Yes.
I think I've almost got it.
Yeah. You might be
Al G. Rhythm. If you say it together fast, sounds kind of like... Algae Rhythm, Dancing Algae.
That's right.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
And he gets mad at LeBron for pollution because he is the algae that are all dying from pollution. He's like, LeBron James, you're a famous person who flies a private jet, so he punishes him for that reason. It's pretty cool, you guys.
Yeah,
guys,
this movie takes a hard turn into environmental terrorism. Which is interesting, actually.
Or activism, depending on, But we got a lot of great stars in here besides LeBron and Don, the main two. We've also got a character named Dom. And LeBron.
Threw me off the whole time. I'm like, Dom? Dominic Toretto? That Dom?
He wouldn't be caught dead in a movie like this because it has The Rock in it. No, it doesn't. But if it did, apparently those two do not like each other again. You seen this?
I don't think they ever stopped not liking each other.
Yeah, like that's been status quo, right?
So there were reports that they had like kind of squashed the beef a little bit for a while, but today it came back out. I mean, I think we knew they didn't like each other, but not in this weird little, catty third grade way. But apparently they do it in that way now, like on Instagram and stuff. Very fun.
That's silly.
Yeah, you got Cedric Joe playing Dom James. Then a bunch of other people, but then most importantly, what the heck's her name? Zendaya plays Lola Bunny.
Yeah, unsexual Lola Bunny. Get out of here. No, I'm kidding. I'm like totally fine with it.
I mean, listen.
I think it's weird. No, you go. You finish. Sorry.
This Lola Bunny has a bunch of problems. Sexuality is none of them, I guess. It's just... I think they took away her sexuality and they went, okay, so what is her defining characteristic? And then they went, moving on. And that was the meeting.
That's about right.
I think it's weird that Lola is the only Looney Tune that they didn't have like a Looney Tune voice actor for.
It's so weird.
Right?
Like, I don't know what happened to the original Lola Bunny, but besides that, other people have voiced her. Kristen Wiig voiced her in the show, in the cartoon recently, and she's funny. I don't think that's quite the Lola Bunny they were going for here, but she's a star. Like, if you want to market an actor as Lola Bunny, you just do Kristen Wiig. I mean, maybe she maybe she got wind of the movie, decided to keep her hands off of it. But
it's like, we can't have this. This is unacceptable.
I hope that's the case. But those are the guys, you guys. All the best guys are in this movie.
You didn't
along
say all
with
the
a bunch of basketball
players.
Well, I don't want to spoil them.
I'm sorry.
And also, I kind of know which ones are the basketball players in this list, but I'm not positive.
This will be a fun game. You say whether you think... I'm like trying to think. Like, you'll say the name, and you'll be like, I think they're a basketball player for the insert team. And then I'll tell you whether or not you're right.
God, I couldn't even guess the team. I mean, I have a feeling I know, because they're all listed right next to each other, but I'm not sure where that list ends.
I think this will be fun.
They're all great. We'll get to it. But before that, guys, we got to talk about the IMDb summary.
All right.
Which is great. Are you guys excited for this?
No. I always lose.
Yeah.
That's a good reason to not be excited. But I have a feeling, I don't know. I got a good feeling about this one for you, DJ.
Really? Okay.
This one could go either way.
I think I'm going to screw this up. I'm going to screw this up real bad.
All right. DJ is the returning loser. You get to go first.
Yeah, I want to go first.
Or pick who goes first.
Yeah, well, I want to go first. I don't want to, play myself like last time. I think that would be... I'd be a damn fool.
That's fine. I mean, again, there is no playing... You can just say what he said if you think he got it perfect, and then say plus $1, Bob, or something.
Right, yeah.
You can get it, unless he says it exactly on the nose. But either way.
I'd like to go first.
All right, let's hear it, DJ. I can't even give you a hint. It's just, it is what it is.
I think I got this. All right. NBA superstar LeBron James must team up with the Looney Tunes in order to save his son from a powerful AI that threatens to trap him and his family forever.
Okay. Diggins, what about you?
Damn, you stole how I was going to start it, but I'm just going to start it that way.
Yeah.
Anyway. NBA superstar LeBron James stars in the return of the Space Jam franchise, teaming up with Bugs Bunny and all the classic cartoons of your youth to play a game of basketball.
I gotta give it to DJ. I'm a little torn because Diggins, you got a couple of words, but I don't think they're that important. For instance, you mentioned Bugs Bunny specifically, but whatever. DJ got the other parts that were important. So here's what it is. A rogue artificial intelligence kidnaps the son of famed basketball player LeBron James, who then has to work with Bugs Bunny to win a basketball game. So, yeah, DJ got AI, you got the son thing, you got most of it. You both got most of it, but Diggins did not mention the AI. Yeah, I know, but the basketball game is so much not really a part of this movie anyway,
I mean, I feel like
it's a dom ball game.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't play any basketball at all.
True. It's super true.
Yeah. And they don't really even play that much dom ball when you really get down to it. They just all complain about dom ball while it's going on and stuff. There's a lot of setup, but not a lot of actual playing happening. But, you guys, great job, DJ. Would you like to tell us what you thought of Space Jam: A New Legacy?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Let's hear it.
So, all right, I feel like the takes on this movie are like, it's bad and terrible and just a commercial for Warner Brothers. And I think that's mostly true. I did not hate this movie. I don't know if it's because I have I didn't feel any affinity toward the basketball parts of this movie. So just as an example, the movie begins with just as Space Jam begins with here's the basketball player as a child. And now we're going to show you highlights of said basketball player. I don't really cape up for LeBron James like that, so I didn't really care. But I thought it was fine. I actually thought some of the Looney Tunes bits and stuff were actually funny, and I liked them. But I don't think this movie is good. I think it's at best an average movie that starts really slow and gets better once we get into the Looney Tunes bits and recruitment and stuff. I will say I hate that. I don't know, at least half the movie is just a Warner Brothers commercial. That's gotta go. But that's like why we're here. So I felt torn, but I don't want to get it twisted. Like, I do not endorse the parts of this movie that are ostensibly a Warner Brothers commercial. I thought that stuff was gross and dumb. But overall,
you think that was as little as half of this movie?
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess it's like what? It's a huge chunk. The Warner Brothers commercial. It's really bad actually in the basketball game when it's just like the same stills over and over again. Just like, oh, there goes the mask again, just like laughing and cheering on the sidelines. It's like, this is awful. But like overall, I give this movie like a square like 4 out of 5 out of 10. Like it's just below average, but ultimately harmless. It's not like Tomorrow War bad. So yeah. That's where I land.
Interesting. All right, Diggins, you can go next. What'd you think of Space Jam: A New Legacy?
So I don't think it's Tomorrow War dumb. I think there's a certain logic to a lot of what goes on here that more or less makes sense, except for the villain, which is total nonsense, but we'll get there. And there's even, like, decent structure on the LeBron part of it, at least, where it's like his character in the movie has a recognizable arc that you can chart from beginning to end, which honestly is like an incredibly low bar, but one that these movies so often don't clear that I want to point out that it does pass it. That being said, it also made me watch a scene where Gabriel Iglesias does a Speedy Gonzalez voice in The Matrix. And then the granny from Looney Tunes does a big slow motion spin kick. And then later that comes back for no reason.
Yeah.
Foghorn Leghorn says winter is coming while dressed as Daenerys and riding a dragon. Again, for no reason. Rick and Morty show up at one point and throw the Tasmanian devil at them.
Unforgivable. That was horrendous.
Yosemite Sam shows up in Casablanca, seemingly for no other reason than there's a character named Sam in that movie. Casablanca also gets a whole planet in the Serververse, which is the Warner Brothers universe that they're inhabiting.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a single movie.
Universe.
It's a single movie set in the real world.
Listen, if we want to get into specifically what constitutes a thing in the Serververse, it's going to be real confusing. Because sometimes movies and universes get their own thing. Sometimes it's just comics floating around in the Serververse that are also part of it, even though they would function as part of another planet. It's bizarre.
Yeah, a bunch of, as DJ intimated, a bunch of Warner Brothers properties just show up at the Dom Ball game and cheer in the back. They go through several canned animations that we see repeated over and over again in the background of every scene. Mm-hmm. God, there's just so many things like this I could keep mentioning, and they're all very bad. And I hate that they're all in my brain now. And that seems like the true heart of this movie to me. There are parts of it that are harmless. The jokes are bad, but they're like bad in a kid's movie way, where I could imagine a kid being like, haha, it's funny that he got hit in the head. And it's like, whatever. That's fine,
Hey, I
guess.
found that funny. What about when I found that funny?
Yeah.
You shame me?
Anyway... But the true heart of this movie, as I said, is that Warner Brothers mixed up a big old batch of hog slop, decided it wasn't making them enough money to raise these hogs, so they kind of like cut that hog slop with water and like ground cornmeal and other things hogs aren't supposed to eat. Maybe even, let the mafia pay them to dump a couple bodies in there. Whatever it takes. And then they just dumped it in a trough, like, not even with any particular care. It probably splattered everywhere. And then they told us to eat up, you fucking pigs. You like this garbage, don't you?
And we did.
And
we did.
And we did. That's what Space Jam 2 is to me. It's the adulterated hog slop of a pig farmer who is mad that he's not squeezing as much money out of his pigs as he wants, and has decided to just really wring them for every cent.
Wow.
Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, you're right. This movie stinks. I hated it. I hated every minute of it. There was one time I laughed. At one point, thing made me laugh. And it made me laugh kind of the way that... You know what? Actually, I'll be fair. Two things made me laugh. And...
I kind of want to guess what they were.
Okay. One was like a genuine thing that was funny. And then one was like... I thought it was funny, but I was also kind of in awe of it. And we're both like jokes, like lines. So take a shot.
My goodness. This is difficult. There's so many things to choose from.
I know. It's all over the place. So you can pick either zone, like the good joke or the bad joke.
Obviously,
I'll tell you one
the
thing
bad
it's
one
not.
was when Porky Pig rapped.
No, this thing actually got a laugh out of me. Like, I did think it was funny, but I was also, like, just kind of shocked by it. I'll give you a hint. It's the line that, I don't know. They're both lines that Looney Tunes say.
Well, yeah, I can't imagine that a line anyone else said could possibly make anybody laugh, so.
What about the part where LeBron's kid is like, what's for dinner? Spaghetti and meatballs? And then he gets hit in the head with a basketball from the pitching machine of basketballs. The fuck?
The
is that a joke?
voice-activated pitching machine.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Balls. That's pretty funny, actually. Never mind. Three things made me laugh.
Oh, my God.
I did think, it was funny? LeBron James is acting in that scene. Maybe one of the worst line rates I've ever seen in a movie, where he says, spaghetti and meatballs, that's my favorite. Like a child. like a child actor on their first day on the lot. Just absolutely Shirley Temple level of like, I like spaghetti and meatballs. But okay, no, there are two things I like. Two jokes I thought made me laugh. One, in the appropriate for the movie version, like, this is funny. I do like the Looney Tunes. So my favorite one's Daffy Duck because he's the best one. Yeah, unless you want to go like kind of deep cut one, then it's like Gossamer is pretty funny. But I like, and he's not that much for deep cut because now he's on the team, which I was happy about. But I think he's fun in sketches. But the bit where all the Looney Tunes, or like the Looney Tunes basketball game starts and all the Warner Brothers trash shows up and like floods the zone, and then Daffy Duck says, "Oh, the bathroom line's gonna be incredible," or something like that. I thought that was funny. That made me laugh.
That got you?
That's like a good joke. And you know what? Some of the bits with Daffy Duck I thought were funny, but didn't like make me laugh. But that one really just got me like yeah, they are. I get that. But then at one point they're doing basketball practice on the spaceship or whatever. And I think that's when this happens. Granny dunks a basketball or something. Do you guys remember what she says to LeBron James when she does this?
I don't.
She quotes a television show that is a real thing. She says game blouses. A la The Chappelle Show, Rick James, or not Rick James, True Hollywood Stories of Charlie Murphy.
Is that what that was referencing?
Yeah, it's Prince playing basketball against Charlie Murphy, and he says, like, game blouses when he wins. It doesn't make any sense in context of this movie unless Granny is referencing The Chappelle Show, which I don't think would exist in the Serververse because I don't think that's owned by Warner Brothers.
It's not. So there's no way she's referencing the Chappelle Show. There's no way.
Maybe she just knows Prince and he says that a lot because that's the only other way I'll accept it.
Well, what if it's just like, you should do shirts for skins, and she was wearing a blouse, so that's that.
I mean,
honestly, that's all.
That?
That's all I thought it was, but I've also never watched the Chappelle Show, so I mean, I just didn't know that was even a thing.
Oh yeah, it's a super famous line too. Like, it's one of the. I mean, the Chappelle Show in general is like a super quotable show, and you go to anybody in like my high school at the time when that show was popular. Game blouses, everybody knew what that was. Like, it was. I mean, if you'd never seen the Prince, basketball,
I know
and pancakes and stuff.
I know what you're talking about. I just don't think it's like that ubiquitous.
I think it's. I mean, I guess it's not ubiquitous, but that's what it's known, or that's like what it is. Like, that's what that. It's a callback to a joke that it's from the Chappelle Show in this movie for children.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the counter to say no, it's not, but I just like didn't read that when I watched it. I'm like, I guess it's shirts for skins, but she wears a blouse because she's a grandma. Ha 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 ha. Go blouses.
Yeah,
well,
I mean,
DJ, the clue here is that this is a reference that makes absolutely no sense for anyone who could even remotely be considered the target audience for this movie.
Yes.
Which means it almost certainly was what it was intended.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
So here's my review of this movie. I hated it, but also here's my review. At one point in the movie, LeBron James sits down and watches a little presentation by Warner Brothers executives, maybe about 15 minutes into the movie.
Oh, I was going to bring this up. The
presentation is like, what if we made Looney Tunes Space Jam: A New Legacy? And he was like, that would be really bad. It's the worst idea I've ever heard. And then we have to watch it for about 45 minutes. It's insane. A movie has never had the gall to pitch me the movie it's going to show me and then say you actually wouldn't want to watch this, though. It's a bad idea. It's not that LeBron James is out of touch in that moment. It's just he's right. He's 100% right.
What I love about that scene is that you're right. They totally pitch this movie, and like it's important for the plot that LeBron doesn't like it, so that he sets off John Cheadle, and the whole basketball game for your souls begins. But they've written themselves into the corner of LeBron has to hate the concept of the movie he's about to be in, so he doesn't give any reasons for why he thinks it's a bad idea. He just very, very carefully avoids articulating any kind of reason why he feels the way he does. He's just kind of like, this is stupid and I don't want to do it. And you're like, why is that, LeBron James? Could you articulate any reasons why this is bad? And he looks at the screenwriter off stage who's got his wife with a gun to her head and like shaking his head. And he's like, no, I do not.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? To be fair to that pitch, it's better than this. That the movie they pitch, A, is a little cooler looking, and B, when it's like, wouldn't you like to see LeBron James fight Batman as Mr. Freeze? That's not my main thing that I want to see in a movie, but it's what I expect a Batman cameo would look like in a movie like this. We go to Gotham City, and it's mostly Daffy Duck, but there's no, like, they do the same thing where it's like, wouldn't it be cool if you were playing Hogwarts Quidditch on a broom? And whatever a third version of this is, and he goes to Harry Potter World, and we don't see it. Like,
exactly.
If we're going to do let's go through the Warner Brothers properties, why are the only ones we actually see, like, fucking the DC cartoon universe, which is really just Metropolis, a Warner Brothers comic book, Austin Powers, Fury Road? Like, what about Harry Potter? Could you guys not afford it? They probably couldn't afford it, or, like, Joe is really tight on the rights, but, like, it's just... It's so awful. Also, this movie is, I think, the biggest crime this movie commits, besides all of the rest of them, is it fundamentally does not understand why the Looney Tunes are funny or anybody likes them. It knows they were in Space Jam before, but if it could, it would not have them in this movie. Like, it's, and I'm not saying that whoever wrote this doesn't get it. I mean, I'm not convinced they do, but I'm mostly saying that, like, the way this movie is constructed, it hates the Looney Tunes. And I went back after I watched this to watch Space Jam 1, because it was like, man, is this as bad as this? And it's 100% not. It's a pretty good movie, like, in terms of just being structured well. But it knows how the Looney Tunes... It knows how the Looney Tunes work. Like, it knows what's funny about them. They're the main characters. Like, Michael Jordan is their friend, and, like, he comes to help, but, like, the movie's about them. Like, the first thing, here's my biggest, like, thing in my brain that I think when I watched the original Space Jam again, I was like, oh, no, there is a way to do this. When we meet Bugs Bunny in this movie, it's Space Jam 2: A New Legacy, he just fucking does maybe 15 Looney Tunes cartoon references. He doesn't, like, do the bits with the characters or anything. He just kind of speeds through them at, like, this ridiculous pace, then complains for a while. And when we meet him in Space Jam, he, like Space Jam 1, is the scene where he tricks the Monstars, and he's like, are they this tall? Bugs Bunny says this? I don't know who he is. Like, and, like, that's a really good Bugs Bunny bit. If you're a kid, you don't really know what Bugs Bunny's deal is. It's like, oh, I get why I'm supposed to like this guy. He's kind of wise, and he's not wise, but he's like he's real. You know,
He's a
real
trickster.
stinker,
Cunning.
and he's clever and stuff.
He gets
But
one
fucking
over on
this
the bad
movie
guys.
Just makes Bugs Bunny into this weird little mouthpiece for all the Looney Tunes sayings and stuff, and it's awful. It is. Oh, it's the worst. I hate it.
Well, and like
I think Space Jam 1 is good. I do. I think it's a very well structured movie. I think Michael Jordan's good in it. I have nothing against LeBron James. Maybe he's nice. Probably is.
Okay. Hold on.
Well,
I cannot
And
continents
it's not,
defending
I don't know how,
Michael
but it's
Jordan's
so unnatural,
performance.
some of it. And just like him
I cannot-
acting when speaking to people, and it's really weird. You know? Did anybody else get that vibe?
I
So a
cannot
couple
continents defending Michael Jordan's performance and then criticizing LeBron's in this one. Unconscionable.
No. If I may. So a couple things. I think Nando brought up some really salient and good points.
All great points.
In Space Jam 1, the reason they play a basketball game is because the Looney Tunes have to, like, fight the little, like, munchkin aliens guys, and they're like, oh, we're so much taller than them.
Excuse you, DJ, do you not know the name of the aliens?
No, I
Of the
don't,
aliens
I don't.
in the first
No, I
Space Jam? Nando, will you please enlighten this gentleman?
Well, they call themselves the Monstars. That's actually a name that Sylvester gives them in
Well,
a really... I know. We'll get to it, but it's a really hokey, like, little, like... Someone's like, they're monsters, they're superstars, and then Sylvester's like, they're monstars. It's so...
Excuse me, he says, suffer and succotash. They're monsters.
That's about right.
But that's not the name I was talking about.
But that
Nando.
is not the name of their species. They are the Nerdlucks, as we all know. I'm not sure
yes.
when that was established or if it's even ever mentioned to the original movie, but that is the fact of it all.
At some point it is. But anyway. So they challenge the Nerdlucks to basketball because they're taller than him. And then it just so happens that a great basketball player falls in their lap after they get all mutantized. In this movie,
hold on. They go get Michael Jordan. They go to his car and like steal him because they're clever and because they solve their problems in clever Looney Tunesy ways, which is why we like them. Like it's characterization 101. And anyway, go on.
Right, but to stay on the so that's one point. To go to the acting point, which I know Diggins wants to talk about. In Space Jam 1, Michael Jordan is there being Michael Jordan, doing his best to sell Nike and basketball. Like that's what he's there. He's just like, I am Michael Jordan. I have no charisma. Oh, come on. Those are my gym shorts or whatever. Like, just stupid nonsense. In this movie, LeBron James, I know how LeBron James talks. I've seen enough of his press conferences. I've seen enough interviews with him. This is him, like, trying to do his best to be like, this is what I think acting is. And how I'm going to try. Like, even in other movies he's acted in, like, even when he's in Trainwreck, at least he's being like LeBron James. But, like, a silly version of LeBron James is like, I'm not going to pay for dinner. That's ridiculous. Like, silly things like that. And, like, maybe he sounds a little stiff, but it's so try-hard in this movie, and it's very bad. Like, oh, my God, I'm shorter than Kevin Hart. It's like, it's not good.
Oh, man. That's one of the worst line reads in the movie.
And, I mean, like, no spaghetti and meatballs.
The whole beginning of the movie is nothing but that. It's like, hey, son, what's this? Your basketball game? It's like LeBron James has never seen a movie, but he's seen a lot of after-school specials about drugs, and he thinks that's what people talk like. It's just like, hey there, kid, what's wrong? You don't like to work and play basketball? Like, this is the court. You do work here.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable.
Look,
at least Michael Jordan was just like being Michael Jordan and not trying to act, but... So you get that performance.
I come here not to praise LeBron James, but to bury Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is also very bad in the first Space Jam.
No, absolutely not. No.
I disagree. I think there's a humongous difference between how well both of those, like, you know, basketball players turned actors are able to.
Look,
act
I understand
I
understand what you're saying about LeBron in this movie, and I don't even disagree. He is bad in that sense, but like. Michael Jordan is in the first Space Jam is acting like every second he's here is causing him physical pain. He absolutely does not want to be in that movie. It radiates in every frame.
But like at least he has the I don't know, temerity or like at least like the, I don't know, sportsmanship to like buy into the premise of a movie. And like he is bad at baseball in that movie, and like that was probably like a shitty thing to like have to do, but it's like, all right, I'll do this thing because it like makes for a good movie. But like in this movie, LeBron can do no wrong. Even when he's a bad father, he's perfect.
It's all he's a bad dad. What are you talking
no,
about?
but he's not. He's not, though. He's not.
Yeah, his bad dad is like the interview where it's like, what are your bad skills? Oh, work too hard? I don't know.
Yes,
sometimes
exactly.
I come to work too early. Like, Michael Jordan, there's no jokes at LeBron. There's 2 jokes at LeBron's expense. One of them is he switches teams a lot.
Yeah. Like,
maybe that's the only one. I can't remember, but we hear it a couple times through different players. But besides that, like that's the joke. He's not even like out of touch. It's just that he doesn't understand video games because of a weird video game moment in his past that makes no sense. Are kids just giving away Game Boys on the
right?
If I were LeBron in that scene, I would tell that coach, like, I mean, look, I understand your point, and like I get that you wanted a dramatic emphasis on it, but that's literally not mine. Like, you can't just throw it
out. Also, the that first scene where the coach is like, just give the ball to LeBron. It's like the most realistic part of that movie.
Yeah,
that's definitely what happened with LeBron when he was playing like AAU and in like fucking grammar school and shit like that. Like that's definitely what happened. So good on you. Yeah.
I think this movie it's something about Michael Jordan in the first Space Jam, and maybe part of it is just that he's like, I don't want to be here, but that's also like what his character's supposed to be doing at that point. Like he's supposed to not want to be at the Looney Tunes. There's something about LeBron in this movie, but anyway, I think that makes him feel relatable. And I just think there's a little bit.
It
they
makes
do
it
a lot
feel
of
relatable because Space Jam's a bad movie, and I wouldn't want to be in it either.
No, it's that I wouldn't want to not be hanging out with Bill Murray, and then I'm hanging out, and then I'm like, oh, where'd Bill Murray go? I would also be bummed out by that. Larry Bird, maybe not so much, but there's the bits at the beginning where, like, for some reason, and it's adorable, they give him like a normal house in the suburbs to live in. But there's also the bit with I forget what the name of the character is. Is it Dennis? No, it can't be Dennis. That would be the same as a Jurassic Park.
I was going to say, you're thinking of the Jurassic Park man.
Whatever Wayne's Night Guy is in that. He's like his, personal
Handler.
assistant or something. Yeah, and he's like, oh, LeBron, here, let me open the door for you. And LeBron's like, or not LeBron, excuse me, Michael. Michael Jordan's like, it's all right, man. I'm good. I'll just drive myself to the thing. It's fine. And, like, this LeBron James, I get making him live in his real house, or, like, a real house for someone that's a bazillionaire. But, like, I feel like there's a couple of points in this movie where a character's like, King James! And he's like, that's right. As opposed to, like, call me LeBron. I'm a human being with the,
right?
Like, and I feel like, I don't know if this happens in Space Jam, because I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched a little bit of it. But I feel like if a character like Daffy Duck or something was like, Sir Michael, your heiress, whatever, he would say, like, just call me Michael or something. Like, and it's just, it's a disconnect there that makes me just like, this movie is so weird. I don't know.
So what you're saying is you think LeBron's being too honest in this movie, and you like that Michael Jordan was lying to you.
No, it's almost the opposite. Like, LeBron is clearly putting on a facade in this movie where, like,
Michael Jordan was putting on a facade of, like, a character of Michael Jordan, but it was, like, kind of a jerk. Or, like, not a jerk, but it was like a, what if Michael Jordan was a normal guy? But in this one, it's like, what if LeBron was the perfect human being? And it makes me a little bit more like, with the Michael Jordan one, I'm like, well, that makes sense. Because I probably wouldn't want to watch a movie about the real Michael Jordan. Because he's probably, like, I don't know, kind of stuck up because he's a bazillionaire.
The Last Dance was that, right? That was just like a Michael Jordan, like, propaganda film. Like, so...
And this, I feel like, this feels very much like the Fast and Furious contract thing, where it's like, he has so much control over how LeBron is written. LeBron is never wrong or anything. He's always nice.
LeBron is extremely wrong in this movie. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
He,
like,
at what part is he wrong? No, but, like, seriously, like, when?
He's wrong about the whole game plan. He's wrong about how he's raising his kids. He's wrong. He hasn't actually, like, he is wrong about how strict he is about adhering to the fundamentals of basketball and not having fun. And I mean, yeah, that's a stupid plot, but it is one in which he is wrong.
But the movie makes it seem like that's okay. It's like, yeah, he's like LeBron. He has to, like, be the best and whatever. And, like, he always, cares about his son the whole time.
the reason why it's wrong is because he imposes it on others without realizing that, you know, they don't need to be, they cannot, they are not literally one of the greatest basketball players of all time and do not need to be held to such a standard like he did.
Right. So I guess, like, that arc would work for me if they stuck to it for more than 10 minutes in the movie. Because, like, he does that. Like, first we see him being raised, and it's like, wouldn't it be, you know, it'd be tough to be LeBron James, you know, work really hard and stuff. And then he's got the thing with the son, and he's like, you gotta work hard and not play video games, and, you know, the court is work and stuff, whatever. And then the wife, who I imagine this isn't his real wife, right? Like the actor wife.
No, I don't think anyone in there was his real family.
They are not his real family, nor do they even
sidekick.
They don't share the names of his real family. They don't They are entirely fake, just like Michael Jordan's family in the first Space Jam. Both decisions I find a little weird because, I mean, even if you want to protect their privacy, it's not like we don't know what their names are. Come on.
That's fair. Right. But so his wife is like, come on, be nice to our son. And LeBron goes and plays the game with the kid and is nice and it's good. Like, he gets over it pretty quickly. In the end, like, there's that one moment where he's like...
He plays the game with the son and is like, oh, look, your achievements. That's nice. But then as soon as his son's like, yeah, and in fact, I like this achievement so much, I want to do it instead of basketball. He's like, what? No, absolutely not.
I don't know. I get it. LeBron's like, I want to... The kid's like in the meeting, comes out in the middle. It's like, by the way, I'm going to game design camp, not basketball camp, Dad. And it's like, well, maybe we talk about this. I don't know. This is a weird time to have this conversation.
That's not what he says. He says no, you're not. He comes right out and is like, that's absolutely not happening.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. It's like you can't throw that at LeBron in the middle of a meeting in front of his worker.
Yeah,
people.
Right. That's so like weird.
I mean, yes, obviously,
like, again,
but I'm just saying it doesn't. I don't think it's something that is either does or is meant to make LeBron look good.
I feel like that scene where he's playing basketball with the kid, like the computer dom ball with the kid, is the moment where the movie had a chance to pick which way it was going to go. And if it was a movie that was actually making LeBron kind of a dad with a problem, he would have like gotten mad in that scene. But the scene ends all amicably and like. He dabs, like I don't know. I feel like this movie, like I don't think Michael Jordan necessarily had an arc in the first one, but that's kind of because it wasn't about him as much as it was about the Looney Tunes. But his
arc was realizing that he should play basketball.
Yeah, and like being this like grand achievement of using his giant arm in the end of the first one. I feel like it's like part of his like, I don't know, really, really weird little mini arc during the basketball game, but there's no, he's just like there. I don't know, it's weird. I'm not saying LeBron's bad in this movie because of the characterization necessarily, but I do think it just feels like this movie, even so the parts where he has a character and character growth, like I agree, that is there. It's the other parts where like Don Cheadle just fucking spends a minute going like, LeBron James, the greatest person that ever lived, a bazillion Instagram followers, 40 million championships. And it's just like, whose agent wrote all these scenes because they need to be thrown off of a cliff? Or him. But I have a feeling it was an agent. It feels just like this movie was written by, that's the joke, the algorithm, but it's really agents and like lawyers and stuff. And like, we have to mention that he has this many Instagram followers. We have to mention that he won this championship.
And that's what's insane. Like, at least in Space Jam 1, it's like all the stuff about Michael's implied. Like he's so great because like everyone's like fawning over him and, you know, but like he's trying to be chill. But, like, anytime people talk about, like, how great LeBron James is, he's like, yeah, pretty much. And, like,
obviously, I'm LeBron James.
Yeah, it's weird because I feel like I've come in the weird position of, like, criticizing this movie. But, like, all of these parts are parts I did not like about the movie. Like, I thought all of this stuff was just kind of, like, gratuitous. Just, I like the fun little Looney Tunes parts. And isn't it fun when Wile E. Coyote does his, like, cute little thing? This is fun, right? Like... You know,
what cute little thing does Wile E. Coyote do in this movie?
I don't know. He chases Roadrunner. I don't know, man.
Does he even?
He tries to eat
Roadrunner. Yeah.
Damian Lillard tries to feed the Roadrunner to Wile E.
Coyote. Oh, yeah. I like I said, I watched this with a group of friends, and like it was one of those things where I didn't know every single person at the party, so I was like trying to like not be super rude. So like I wouldn't like talk out loud. because I wasn't trying to be like, oh, like here's what is happening, because I was like, people like weren't really talking, so I was trying to be polite. But like when the Dame time happened and it was like the time in a bottle, like I let out an audible groan, like, oh, I can't believe we're doing time in a bottle again. Like, it's over.
Is that something that actor, that basketball player is known for? Whatever his name is?
Like time travel? No, he's not known for doing
Chronos?
time in a bottle. Yeah. But like his like Dame time is just when he comes onto the court. It's Dame time. Like that's it. It's like in this show, if like when like you start a segment, we probably like it's Nando time. Like that's all it would.
Now
be,
that
right?
you mention it,
It's
actually a great idea.
Nando time.
Yeah,
It is Turbo time.
yeah, that's true. And you're not part of the Turbo team. It's so weird how much as a non-basketball fan, I watch this movie. I'm like, is this supposed to be something I get? And I'm thinking, like, usually the answer is no. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, no, this is bullshit from this weird little Dom game. Or like, this character, this person isn't known for being snake-like on the court, right? Like, the original Monstars were just the tall one and the stocky one, and that was it.
It's like, that's Patrick Ewing. That's Charles Barkley. It's like, that's fucking it. Like, the thing where, oh my god, so like Wet Fire, right? That was Klay Thompson. He is really good at shooting 3-point shots. And, you know, it's a term in basketball, when it's like nothing but net, sometimes it's called wet. Like it's a wet shot, because it seems like droplets are coming off the hoop. It's dumb. It's just called wet. So it's like, oh, he makes good shots. Let's call him wet. Wet what? Wet fire? Because sometimes he's like on fire, like an NBA Jam.
DJ,
like that's it.
I'm afraid that's incorrect according to the Wikipedia page here. The character is inspired in part by the Splash Brothers nickname given to the duo of Klay Thompson and Steph Curry.
Oh, but it's not Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. It's just Klay Thompson.
Well,
like
why
maybe
are they called
if it
the
was like
Splash
two
Brothers?
guys.
Is it because they both shoot free throws and are very wet
A lot
or
of
whatever?
threes. So it's a lot of threes.
Or 3 points, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you'd think then if this was a good movie, and it's not a good movie, but even if it was a little bit more consistent with like what it was, you could still call him that, but he would be good at shooting 3-point shots or something. It's it's so easy to say that it's like the person that wrote this movie doesn't know what a basketball is, but like it really is like they just wanted to write a movie where like one of the characters is a big spider. And it's like, what does that have to do with anything?
Right.
Why is that her nickname? And then like it's just like fucking one of them's a big bird man because he has an eyebrow.
You know what? Yeah, you know why he's called the Brow? Because he's known for having a unibrow. Like that's it. That's fucking it.
Now, we're getting ahead of ourselves, guys.
I'm sorry.
I mean, we're really not, though. I mean, what do we want to talk about with this movie? What's the worst part?
What's the worst
Start
part?
there and work our way back.
All of it?
Yeah, we can start with the nice thing, actually.
No. I think the worst part is actually close to where we were getting, which is the long stretch of recruiting the Looney Tunes.
Oh, man. That was pretty rough.
That probably is the worst part.
Can we talk about let's talk about the Serververse as a concept, because it is fascinating to me that someone wrote this and that this is what happens in the movie. Can either of you explain it?
So,
Diggins has got it.
So yeah, as we've been alluding, LeBron goes to Warner Brothers to hear their pitch because Algorithm, Don Cheadle, the secret AI that controls Warner Brothers, apparently in this movie's universe.
I guess someone invented him, right, or something, or did he just come to life?
It's not clear. It's not clear what he even is.
Sarah Silverman
really
implies that he is made. I feel like Sarah Silverman implies that, like Algorithm, this great algorithm we made.
Yeah.
But she also implies that they do literally think of him as like an AI being capable of its own independent thought, which is kind of weird.
Yeah,
and
like,
fucked up by shitting on him, right?
That's true. When it does its little presentation, I wonder if they're like, does it think it looks like Don Cheadle? Because the little drawing kind of looks like Don Cheadle. But anyway, so yeah, this AI thingy.
He wants LeBron James to come to basically get his likeness scanned in like they do for NBA players for every NBA video game, so it's really not that big a deal.
And for like your Princess Leia's and stuff, where they just like own the rights to Carrie Fisher and her face forever. You want to do that.
Yeah, so basically they want a PS3 Admiral Tarkin him forever, or Grand Moff Tarkin. Sorry, I forgot his
Governor
title.
Tarkin. He's got so many titles these days. It's whatever you want.
And just digitally add him into new Warner Brothers properties whenever they want, because this is what the kids are clamoring for LeBron James to be Mr. Freeze sometimes.
If an algorithm gave you that, you'd be like, oh, the algorithm's broken. It doesn't. We need to explain to it what a basketball player is.
Oh, it's just stuck in like mash things together mindlessly mode. We need to get this like thinking a little smarter.
Yeah, like we tried this for The Rock and it all made sense, but now I'm thinking if we plug in any random person, it'll turn them into Mr. Freeze and Harry Potter. Like, that's just what this does. We actually thought this algorithm was pretty cool, but it's actually weirdly specific.
Anyway,
sorry, King James.
Sorry, yes.
But this is represented in the computer Matrix universe where Don Cheadle lives by the Serververse, which is basically like a little outer space with tiny little planets all scattered all throughout it, and the planets are all different media properties that Warner Brothers owns. Like there's the Casablanca planet. There's the Austin Powers planet. There's the DC planet, which is a much bigger planet than Casablanca or Austin Powers, I should think.
Yeah.
And the Looney Tunes planet, of course. Which which they seem to think is like washed up and bad. Like apparently in this universe nobody likes the Looney Tunes.
Well, like when was the last time Looney Tunes have like done a thing, right?
They just did a cartoon pretty recently. Like
did they?
They trot the Looney Tunes out every so often, and the cartoons always do like okay. But I wouldn't say they're like Jabberjaw or something like that. Who is able to appear at this game as Jabberjaw, everyone's favorite guy. It's like, no, man, he's the one that should be in fucking hell of this universe or whatever. Yeah.
Shitting on Jabberjaw, he truly does get no respect.
I got nothing against Jabberjaw, but he I don't know what algorithm. Does algorithm hate the Looney Tunes or not?
He seems to.
Decide.
He calls them washed up rejects.
Yeah.
But so when he puts them into they seem happy in their other universes, right?
Yeah, they're doing their thing.
They don't really seem to have an opinion about it one way or the other.
Well, Lola's having a good time.
True.
You know?
Is she in DC verse, by the way, or is Wonder Woman in a whole other world?
Floating comic books somewhere else in space. So
this
weird.
is a separate Wonder Woman universe. You can tell because Wonder Woman's not Israeli.
Yeah. It's true. Yeah, she's Rosario Dawson probably, right? The one that usually does her in the animated stuff now.
That is correct. It is Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, she's like they have like a stable of actors that they call on, and that it's a rotating cast, but I feel like she's been pretty consistent as the Wonder Woman for a while. Though I know they just kind of rebooted, so I'm not sure if she's still in it. But I don't know if I prefer her to Gal Gadot, but I'm fine with her being in this. She's fun. I don't know. I like Rosario Dawson. But anyway, yeah, here's my question about this. So, hypothetically, does every Warner Brothers movie get its own planet?
It seems that way.
Yeah,
okay.
I mean, listen, if Casablanca gets its own planet, we can only assume that, literally every standalone movie ever made gets a planet.
So then, if you get a sequel, I'd assume that also occupies space on the planet again, you know?
It's gotta be,
yeah. Because, Austin Powers, Mad Max, those all have sequels, and you're assuming there's not, an Austin Powers 2 planet. Okay.
See, this is the difficulty involved in considering, a piece of art that somebody made as being a media franchise, It becomes complicated quickly.
But so if you're in the Looney Tunes planet, Toon World, whatever it's called, all day, you guys just fuck around, I would assume. That's what Bugs is doing.
Yeah.
Or you make shows maybe at some point. Warner Brothers calls you up, hey, we need a show.
Right. And in the first movie,
if this is in continuity with the first Space Jam, then they are literally reenacting the episodes every time anybody watches them anywhere. That is literally them as actors reenacting it.
Yes, because then Porky Pig is like, we got a meeting, and then they all leave the show that Michael and kids are watching. And that one, but I mean, continuity-wise, in that version of the verse, they exist in the center of the earth. But, like, I think it's about the same kind of thing here. Although, I mean, I guess there's still Looney Tunes cartoons in this universe, right? Like, in LeBron's universe, there are Looney Tunes cartoons, and they're not just Bugs Bunny drinking alone for a while. But maybe that's a new thing. But anyway, so my question is, what is the Austin Powers verse like?
Oh, like, is it just, like, 1960s Britain the whole time?
Or do you just 90s? Reenact the movie Austin Powers on a loop forever? Because that's what we see. We see them doing the Austin... Yeah, exactly. We see him doing the, like, introduction of Mini-Me scene, and it's the same as the movie. But it's also got Elmer Fudd, and it's, like, a moment where he meets the Sylvester. So it's like, is this the first time he's ever done it? Or do they get their mind wiped every time, and then they have to do it again? Like, it's,
also,
you know...
Did Elmer murder Vern Troyer to replace him?
Yes, right? And then, so you get that. You get the Mad Max one, which I find even more confusing because I would assume that Wile E. Coyote dies, but maybe doesn't die. But, like, that character who he is playing in the movie definitely explodes and dies. But that one, him and the Roadrunner in Fury Road, and somebody else, I forget who. That one weird-looking dude.
He's just some, like, random villain in a couple Looney Tunes. I don't think he's super important, and he doesn't show up in the rest of this movie.
That's true. So he is so they just do the plot of Fury Road every day, I guess, and then explode and stuff. Which, like,
I guess the implications of this are, like, kind of weird, right? Because it's not like they're just living in the universe. It's like, yeah, there's a movie happening, and
right. But like the Superman one is kind of living in the universe.
That's true.
And the Wonder Woman one, which is different but similar, pretty much the same thing, where you're just like making new stories in that world. So, like, do people watch like Austin Powers that go like, why is Elmer Fudd in the Austin Powers I'm watching? Right. Or is this just torment for Elmer Fudd?
Or is it Elmer Fudd in the Serververse? But, like, when other people see it, they see Vern Troyer or whatever.
Right.
I don't know.
Maybe there's another actor. Maybe there's, like, somebody else. Maybe, like, Jabberjaw is playing Austin Powers, but because he is different, like, property from the other ones, they don't know. They just think he's Austin Powers, you know?
Also, what are the other ones doing? I feel like that's another, like, good question.
The other tunes? Or?
Just, like, the Flintstones and the Jetsons and, like, all of them who... The Clockwork Orange people, like...
we know what they're doing.
Okay, fine.
But I would assume they are just acting out their catalog in chronological order, I guess, until they finish, and then they go back to the start.
That really does seem like hell. That's
awful.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's the worst. Also, Rick and Morty are just flying around.
Oh, can we talk about
They don't have
Rick
a planet.
Morty
Yeah, let's talk about Rick and Morty. If your show has a spaceship, which we see in Looney Tunes, like because of Marvin the Martian, but as long as your show has a spaceship, you can go to the other shows if you want.
Yeah, yes, you can travel. Yep.
So let's talk about Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
There's one sequence that I've seen other people talk about, but it's Austin Powers goes, yeah, baby, and then they do Casablanca, and then Rick and Morty shows up. It's so weird.
It's quite a progression.
But yes, it's painful.
So my first question, what planet does Rick and Morty occupy? Like, just regular Earth?
Yeah, that's true.
Morty Earth? Like, what is their home planet? Or are they so meta they just get to be like, we're Rick and Morty, we're so cool.
Moreover, yeah, what happens if your planet has characters who watch Looney Tunes in the Serververse?
Yeah,
I think Rick and Morty, I kind of...
where would the Who Framed Roger Rabbit universe go if that was owned by Warner?
Oh my god, that's true. And then, does Rick and Morty, is it like a microverse where every level you go into, there's another Serververse doing the things that guy's watching? You know? Because I think that's got to be it.
All right, well, regardless, so Rick and Morty, they show up. And because they're recruiting all the toons, and the movie is doing the bare minimum of quote unquote work to qualify for, like, all right, let's shoehorn in a bunch of Warner Brothers commercials to get the Toons together. And to get Taz, they don't even go after him. They're just in space in Marvin the Martian spaceship, and Rick and Morty drop him off and make a dumb meta joke and then fly off. And I wanted to vomit. Again, I was trying to be nice because I was like watching it in mixed company, but I wanted to go like, oh, this is the worst. Like, that's where I was at mentally.
But also, what did Tasmanian Devil do to them?
Yeah,
like,
Morty seems traumatized.
And they've killed entire civilizations a lot of times.
They purged. They did a whole purge episode.
What is his backstory like that's so bad? It's pretty fucked up. He spins real fast.
What did you guys think of, like, the fact that there was a Rick and Morty cameo?
Honestly, I kind of liked it. Not like liked it, but I feel like that's the only thing that seemed to fit into...
Really?
Well, like, okay, so if... I liked the way that interacted with the rest of the Looney Tunes. I like that way more than the little, like, we're putting the guys into the already made movie. Like, I kind of would have liked to see that, where it's like, oh, man, now we go to Fury Road, and Furiosa's like, hey, Looney Tunes and LeBron James, you want Daffy Duck back or whatever? Because, that's what this is, except for all these weird little cameos. Like, that's what the Looney Tunes one is. I mean, it's stupid that they're there, but also, I don't know who this movie is for. No one does, so Rick and Morty might as well be in it.
Right,
better than all the weird rapists from other movies. Like, they're just, I mean, they're for adults, I guess. I don't know.
By the way, Pepe Le Pew should have been in this movie.
Oh my God, yeah.
Cancel me. Cancel me.
We should have had the scene where LeBron teaches Pepe Le Pew about consent.
No, different scene. Like, put him in the Casablanca scene and just, I don't know, have him there. And just don't have him be rapey. You could have him in as a character and have him not be rapey. Like,
right?
See,
like,
the problem with that, DJ, is that literally Pepe Le Pew does not have any personality traits beyond rapist.
Neither do any of the other characters in this movie beyond just, I'm a cartoon.
That's fair.
Like,
Gossamer's personality is red and tall.
Yeah.
Kind of lanky.
You could have just had the skunk in there as the French skunk character, and that's it.
That's true.
Done.
Accents
done.
are plenty of characterization in this movie.
Speedy Gonzalez was in this movie.
Foghorn
like,
Leghorn.
Man.
Yeah.
Again, I gotta emphasize, Speedy Gonzalez voiced by Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah, that's something. I wish they did, like, I feel like the problem with this movie for me, besides all the problems I've already said, I wish they committed to stuff where it was like, okay, we're going to have Zendaya do this one, Gabriel Iglesias do this one, and we're going to get fucking Nicolas Cage to do, Daffy Duck.
Right.
We're going to have that. Like, that would be interesting. I would be stupid, but it would be consistent and weird in its own interesting way.
Die.
Right?
I would die to see Nicolas Cage's turn as Daffy Duck.
Would you have liked this movie? Like, would
have
that
loved his
maybe have
Porky
done
Pig,
something for you?
just like in his pig movie. He loves pigs, the man.
If Nicolas Cage was Daffy Duck, would I have loved this movie? Almost certainly.
Yeah.
Nice. Like, and I feel like it's funny because we've seen so many, like, companies take a shot at this, right? Where, like, you have your Lego movies, you have your emoji movies, you have Ralph Wrecks the Internet, or Ralph Breaks the Internet, whatever the fuck it's called. And it's like, the ones that work are the ones where they, I don't know, like, finagle it to give it, like, a little bit of personality, where they go like, well, Will Arnett's not Batman, but it'd be kind of funny if he's a Batman voice. Or like Teen Titans go to the movies where they're like, he was never Superman, but let's make him Superman in our thing. And it's just like, so such weird, like, safe decisions for this movie, and I hate it. Except for like the weird decisions, like the mask and stuff. How weird is it that the mask is like front and center in this movie?
I was just bothered by the laziness of, like, we're just gonna have all the characters do the same dance and pose for like 30 minutes, and there's Penguin, there's Mr. Freeze, and there's these guys, and these guys, and blah blah blah, and it's like it almost like distracted from everything. I don't know. It's weird. I feel like everything we're talking about are things I also hated about the movie.
Do you guys?
What's up, Diggins?
Do you guys think it was emotional for LeBron James and Zendaya to be reunited for the first time since Smallfoot?
Nah, I didn't know he was in Smallfoot. I do know she is from that.
Zendaya is Michi.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's the next one, Nando. It's Zendaya is Michi, and LeBron James is Guanji. It's the next one.
So I've never watched it. I've just heard. I've seen that the word Zendaya is Michi on Twitter with a picture of whatever his name is, little Dear Evan Hansen man singing it. But I bet it's better than this because it's a movie about stuff. Although, okay, so here's my other question about this movie. So we kind of got at the Serververse, which doesn't make any sense. My other question about this movie, and the thing that I could not like sit with, and I kept wondering when it was going to actually get like addressed, or like, did Space Jam 1 happen?
Yes, absolutely.
It would seem so.
LeBron James see it as a child?
See the Space Jam? I don't know if
that's what I was thinking too. No, they didn't.
He had a backpack with the Looney Tunes on it.
The Space Jam was not televised, so human beings couldn't have watched it. However, canonically, at the end of Space Jam, Michael Jordan shows up at a baseball game in an alien spaceship, and I feel like you would know that had happened.
And so the cartoons all know. They reference, like, it's almost like a fucking post-apocalyptic movie where they're like, the event. None of them say the Space Jam. Or right. This is just like Space Jam. Which is like how you do this if you're 22 Jump Streeting. Which isn't how every reboot has to work. But like it's a way where the characters all go, let's do it again. And let's get the thing again. But like, so what I find so strange, like, LeBron, did LeBron watch the movie Space Jam? Is that a movie that exists in this world?
Oh, this is getting so confusing. Did LeBron
I don't think,
James
unless there's a historical documentary, I don't think there is a movie Space Jam in this universe.
Yes, correct. I agree with that.
Okay, so he explains to Bugs, he's like, we need to get the best basketball players together for a basketball game. And then at one point they go like, what, you mean like this? And they kind of rattle off the plot of Space Jam 1, and they're like, that's derivative. And, like, none of the characters in this seem to recognize, wait a second, if there was no Space Jam, where's Lola from?
No, there definitely was a Space Jam.
Right, but
I'm saying the Space Jam happened. Yeah, it's a historical event. Kids learn about it in school.
It's like World War II.
Jam.
Okay.
There was no movie. It was just a thing that happened.
Right, I gotcha. So then, okay, but like, I guess my question is, at what point should the characters have all gone, oh, we're doing Space Jam again? Like, let's get the Looney Tunes because we're good at Space Jams. Because they still don't know anything about basketball. Like, they have to be taught basketball again.
Well, it's like, they're like, we know Looney Ball, or like, you know, which like was the same in the last movie, right?
Well,
that's like, right.
I think you'll find the only reason they were good in the first movie is because they had some of Michael's secret stuff, and that had run out ages ago.
Yeah.
So
that's true. So Space Jam, the Space Jam was a real thing that happened. That works.
Yes. Historical event. Yes.
Historical event. There is no Planet Space Jam where the Looney Tunes act out the documentary of Space Jam.
That is correct.
No.
They should be. And none of the Looney Tunes do reference it so obliquely. It feels like they couldn't get the rights to Space Jam. You know? Like, it's so weird that no one says the word Space Jam in this movie. It's not even a Space Jam.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess. Like, this was... Well, like, did they even call it the Space Jam in Space Jam? I think that was... This is where it gets like, really fucked up, right?
I mean, like...
Now,
this...
I have a fanatical devotion to every time they say the name of a movie in a movie, I lean over to the person I'm watching it with and say, that's the name of the movie. Which lets me know for a fact that they never say Space Jam in Space Jam.
Do they, though? Because the song has it in it. Like, the song
doesn't count.
that plays
it's got to be a character.
I feel like if it's diegetic, I think it counts.
I don't think it is diegetic, though. It's just the song that's playing in the background.
I guess that's true. So, it's a Space Jam because the aliens are from space, though. At least that's why. That's why it makes sense as words. But in this, it's not a Space Jam.
Well, when you think about it, to the Looney Tunes existing in the Serververse, everyone who's not a Looney Tune is an alien.
That's true. Where's Marvin the Martian live? Does he just orbit planet Looney Tunes?
Space. Yeah, he has his own thing.
Well, would it be Mars? Does he live in Space Mars?
Space.
Or like Looney Tunes Mars?
I guess.
Because like there was that Duck Dodgers show, and that takes place in the future, but that was like intergalactic. That show was great. And and he's just plain old Marvin the Martian in that. So I would accept the explanation that is in fact the Duck Dodgers Marvin the Martian that we meet from a different show who travels from a different planet. But yeah, he's like a total Martian. So
instead of a partial Martian.
Yeah, he lives on Mars. Not like Martian Manhunter, who's like Martian by birth, but he just like moves immediately to Earth. Not immediately, he lives there for a while. But anyway, Space Jam. What else happened in this movie, you guys?
What else happened in this movie?
Anybody want to? Let's explain Diggins. I feel like you're itching to, because you've mentioned it a few times. Can you describe Dom Ball?
Oh
my
yeah.
God. So Dom Ball is the video game that LeBron's son has made. Because his name is Dom, and it's his video game, which, actually seems like terrible marketing to me. You should probably give it a name that doesn't require people to know who you are to understand.
What a narcissist,
but anyway.
Right?
Also, maybe one that doesn't kind of sound like Dumb Ball,
You dumb ball.
That's a dumb game, Dumb Ball,
Anyway, it's basically basketball, except there's a bunch of power-ups, and if you do cool stuff, you get extra points. Which is not a very difficult concept, but it's one LeBron just cannot grasp for most of the movie.
Yeah. It's like, LeBron, you grew up with NBA Jams. It's that, right? We're doing NBA Jams again?
So yeah, it seems like the video game version that he's making is only 1-on-1. But it gets adapted to be 5-on-5 5 on however many Looney Tunes they feel like animating on the court at any given time.
Yeah. Well, so is Dom Ball... Dom Ball is a game that Dom created by...
It's a Vibio game, yes.
Doing math and scanning spiders and whatever. People watch it online.
Apparently he streams making and testing the game, which is a thing people do. So, I mean, that's not outrageous.
Is it popular? That's my big question.
We never really get any numbers on those streams, so we don't really know.
We have no reference.
I feel like LeBron James kid making a video game is going to get some attention.
If people know that that's what's happening. We don't know how public he is about who he is when he's making the game.
I mean, the game's named after him, but...
Well, it's not Dom James Ball.
That's true.
It's Dom Ball.
That's a good point.
But anyway, so yeah, Dom Ball. Dumb Ball.
Yeah, like you said, it's basically just NBA Jam. That's it. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, and so it's great because the sequence of events is so dumb. I hated the beginning part of the movie, but after Algae Rhythm gets so butthurt because LeBron James is like, this is stupid. He because Dom bitches to his dad in the meeting. Algae Rhythm's like, aha! I will use his son against him.
Yes.
I will use my godlike powers to... First of all, they let anyone into the physical space of where the Warner Brothers servers are. There's no security. Anybody can waltz in at any moment.
Oh, there is security. There's just a hand scanner.
Why would you need human security when you have the perfect, unfailing algorithm?
Well, and also he makes a magic fucking elevator,
Yeah, right?
So he's like a magic god too. God of elevators and stuff. He hacked the elevator.
Yeah, listen, if algorithms get that good, we gotta shut them all down because we're dead. Yeah. That's it.
Algae Rhythm is both all powerful and also willing to cheat, which raises the question of why does it matter if they win the game at all?
Yeah, he's got a weird characterization. Algae Rhythm. He's very prideful as an algorithm, but also he's very I don't know, competent and incompetent. He's like the president of the Serververse. Did he invent the Serververse?
I think he created it because he's talking about how Warner 3000 is his baby, his whole thing that he wants to do. So I guess he created it, but
not Warner Brothers.
But then the Looney Tunes that are in the Serververse, were those created by him?
Are you saying these are not the original Looney Tunes who live at the center of the earth and played basketball with Michael Jordan? I don't think they are artificial creations by Algae Rhythm.
Yeah, I'm not convinced they don't think they are. Well, they're still here. Wait, no, because they're the ones at the end of the movie. That makes way more sense than the explanation the movie gives at the end.
Which means the explanation the movie doesn't give at the end?
Yeah. Maybe that's which ones they are. But yeah, I wonder if these guys know that they're a copy of the real Looney Tunes that exist in the center of the earth.
Or maybe Or maybe he just digitized the already existing Looney Tunes as well as the souls of all the human actors in all the other movies.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Right?
Some horrifying implications.
Yeah, like Humphrey Bogart now just lives in a permanent purgatory where he has to relive Casablanca every day for the rest of it, all time.
Yeah. Which character do you think has the best chance of escaping the Serververse?
Well, Neo, right? Because he's like the one, and it's the Matrix, and it's all kind of derivative of that. So,
well, but
I mean, Rick and Morty,
the Looney Tunes
like
Granny has murdered Keanu Reeves and taken his place, so he's no longer an option.
Well, she took Trinity's place. Speedy Gonzalez took Neo's place. Right?
Right, but then later she's the one.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
This movie's inconsistent as fuck.
Yeah.
But you're right, because Granny that's a Trinity move, the slow-mo kick and whatever. That's totally a Trinity thing.
As much as we'd like LeBron James to wear that leather cat suit, that's what Trinity wears in the movie, the one that Granny's wearing.
You know, when Granny says she's going to go up against Damian Lillard, and she pulls out the walker and everything, I was like, oh, is this going to be some clever thing about how the fact that she's already slow kind of like does something, like it makes him waste his freeze time or something? Something about how her being her specific Looney Tune-ness thwarts this power in some way? I didn't have a fully formed idea of how it would do it, but I thought that was going to happen. But then she's just the Matrix again for no reason, and that's how she is.
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
Yours was good, Diggins. I like that. That would have been a good bit to write for the writers of this movie.
There's so many moments like that where it's like, yeah, you got the Damian Lillard is the super speed character, so let's have Wile E. Coyote try to catch him or something. Like, that's his whole thing. There's so many weird, like, Looney Tunes. Like I said, I think the movie hates the Looney Tunes, because at least with the other one, with Space Jam, the Looney Tunes succeed at being Looney Tunes, and like when they're being good basketball players, it's because they were embracing the Looney Tunes-ness of them. And yes, they do Pulp Fiction, but like, you know, it's like Bugs Bunny like drives around on a scooter or something, like does silly things. But like in this, Looney Tunes-ness is mostly a liability. It's that Matrix thing that's really cool.
Well, how else are you supposed to get excited for the fourth Matrix movie, Nando, if we don't have Granny do Matrix moves?
So
That's a great
I have
point.
a question for you guys. What did you think of like the game itself? Like, did you enjoy the Dom Ball game at like near the basically what eats up the last third of the movie? Like, what
I
did you
hated
guys
it.
Really?
Hate Dom Ball. Gotta go. It's not fun to watch. It's just a bunch of
there were
nonsense.
some good jokes in there and stuff.
It seemed to me like the movie really didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
Because they zoomed through that game. They're like constantly just shooting through the quarters so that they can get to more scenes of LeBron talking to people for some fucking reason.
Like, Dom Ball, besides being impossible to follow, it's also like, and by impossible to follow, I mean just like, you know, bright and nonsensy. But it's like a style-based game, right? You get points for style.
Yeah.
Figures the Looney Tunes would be pretty good at that, right?
Well, that's the idea, right?
They are eventually. Once they stop trying to follow LeBron's advice.
But like, why would the server man think this is a good idea? Like, oh, the Looney Tunes, they got to fight my guys at basketball. At the stylish, I don't know, just isn't.
That's true. If he's making like the rules, challenge LeBron to like not basketball. Challenge LeBron to, I don't know,
make it play baseball. We'll do the opposite.
Yeah.
Challenge him to nothing. You brought him into your domain where you are all powerful and you are under no obligation to be fair to him, and you're willing to cheat. So like, why does any of this matter?
Oh shoot. Guys, real quick, I got a notification. The Father v Son Ultimate Duel is going to start on my phone.
Oh,
I got to
man.
watch it. It's the
You
event
gotta
of the
tune
century.
in live. Yeah, no,
Father
absolutely.
v Son. That's all we ever wanted. You know?
All I've ever wanted to do is
that's
see LeBron James beat up his own son.
Here's a theory. Maybe it's because like he just wanted views, and that's why he has to do LeBron James basketball Dom Ball, because yes, the views it will get me, and like that was his hubris.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, is he just wants that. But also, it's like, I guess, it's like, Dom Ball sucks. So do something else, algorithm.
No.
Do some of the movies you own or something. I don't know. Do a Fury Road. Do a race. That's fun. Better than this. Because Dom Ball, my problem with Dom Ball is, as a concept, it's a basketball game, right? Like the other one was basketball. But this one also has all these power-ups and shit. And it's like, it's too small for power-ups. And 5 people. And 5 monster men that are humongous men. Or like 4 of those and a kid in a sweatshirt. But like, when it's a whole, everything's happening, it's like, I feel like we need a bigger space for Dumb Ball to happen in. Kind of like where there was like Slam Ball with the big trampolines. And they made it bigger, I'm pretty sure, to accommodate the trampolines. That was awesome.
A lot of people got hurt. Yeah, it's very bad.
But well, that's what made it fun to watch, DJ. Yeah. We all just want to get back to blood sports.
I feel like if they wanted to do Dumb Ball correctly in a way that was fun visually for the movie, you expand the court, you make the power-ups a little bit easier to see or like understand. Because also visually, Dumb Ball fucking sucks. Like, big red circles are the power-ups. Like, there's no... Like, for a game that's all style, there's very little style to Dumb Ball. It's all just, like, plain old basketball with circles instead. That's so boring.
You want to talk about, like a I don't know, like a mix-up. Like how Diggins thought that, Granny's slow, so Dame Time won't work. So I had thought... Here's how I thought it was going to go down. I thought that, Dom's team was going to, play Dom Ball... And, oh my god, we got 70 points for, 1 bucket or whatever. And then I thought, LeBron James was going to just, play regular basketball and, we'd get, 2 points at a time. And he's like, what's going wrong? And they're like, it's about style, your lordship, King James. And he's like, no style in basketball. And, that would be the theme to get him to overcome. But instead it's he's, also kind of good at it until he gets, really good at it. Because I just thought it would have been fun if he just plays, basketball his way, scoring 2 and 3 points at a time. Instead of 100 points at a time.
Isn't that literally what happened, DJ?
No, because it's in the movie. It's just the Looney Tunes are bad at Dom Ball because they get stopped by the other. It's the same. It's the same as Space Jam, where they get stopped by the team because they're better. But LeBron James can't play any kind of basketball. Period. He can't even play regular basketball. Can't play Dom Ball, can't play basketball. The Monstars are too good.
Yeah, I feel like there's bits. There's that one bit, the joke that goes both ways that I think illustrates that this isn't coordinated properly is the Gossamer bit. At one point, the fire guy runs through Gossamer in the beginning when things are going poorly, and Gossamer burns to a crisp. And then later, the water guy, who is the same guy, runs through Gossamer and then gets caught in Gossamer because Gossamer is absorbent. But it's not like it's not like Gossamer is being clever or not being clever or something. They just have superpowers that beat the Looney Tunes. Even when they're doing the fucking Damian Lillard, that's his name, right? The guy that is
Damian Lillard,
Quicksilver. When he does his superpower, it's it's just because they were gonna win because they had the Roadrunner, which, by the way, Roadrunner, excellent team member. It was completely underutilized in the original Space Jam. He could pick up the ball with his hair and go forward, and nobody cares. That's the best guy.
Yeah, no traveling. He never gets called for traveling. I found that very curious.
Well, he moves too close. He moves too fast for the referee to even notice.
Who was the referee in this game?
It was the little minion. The little...
Okay, yeah.
The little knockoff. Do you think if they owned Illumination that it would have been a literal minion?
Oh, it would have been a minion.
If they owned Illumination, they wouldn't make this movie. They'd just make it Minions instead. The Looney Tunes would all get killed by the Minions in scene 1. You know how long this movie takes? Fucking forever to get to Looney Tunes too.
I know, that's my biggest problem.
Space Jam second scene, we're in Moron Mountain. And then, right after that, we do a little bit of LeBron James, or a little bit of Michael Jordan. Boom. Looney Tunes. And a lot of Looney Tunes. And with this, it's fucking a little bit of... You see the Looney Tunes very briefly in video game land or whatever. And then you go into, just LeBron's whole thing forever. And then, yeah.
Can we talk about the fact that Kid Malik tells LeBron that he got a new Game Boy Color and then hands him a classic Game Boy, not a Game Boy Color?
Yeah. Well, wait, no. Because he's giving him the Game Boy Color because, that's his old Game Boy.
Oh, I see.
Because he got a color.
Now, it's very nice to give LeBron the shitty Looney Tunes game because that probably can also work on your Game Boy Color, but maybe it's just a terrible game. I've never heard of it. But that probably would have been a Space Jam game at that point in history in real life. So
to that point, the coach, it was LeBron's Game Boy that the coach could throw out. But maybe don't do that, coach, because like I just got this for my friend. It is a gift, and like you're just kind of throwing it away because you have.
And like, also, you don't know that I got that from my friend. For all you know, my parents spent a lot of money on this fairly expensive piece of electronics. You shouldn't just throw it out.
Well,
you know
also,
my situation.
It's like practice for the game that hasn't started yet. Like, it's not like LeBron is like in, it's halftime and LeBron's missing a substitution or something. He just got there, turned the game on, and the guy gets mad. But like, fucking, I don't know, man. He didn't notice that you said to play. Why is it such a big deal? But I guess this guy knows LeBron's the greatest basketball player that ever lives.
I mean, he definitely knows that. He's
this
super
guy has
aware of
greatest
that.
human
future sight, and he knows that LeBron is going to end up being like literally the greatest basketball player of all time. So he's like, you got to focus, kid.
Yeah.
Greater than Michael Jordan?
Absolutely not. But in the same zone, I guess.
I don't know.
Oh, can we talk about cameos?
Oh yeah, let's talk about cameos.
Yeah, so if you
there
pay
was
a lot
one.
of money, depending on, the person's, price, you can get various somewhat famous people to repeat phrases back at you in video form.
Yeah,
How
Don
much are you
Jr.
on
will
Cameo,
tell you
Nando?
happy birthday or whatever. He'll do it for like $400.
Yeah,
What was the
what's your-
Chinooka thing? Smokey
Oh,
Robinson.
Smokey Robinson?
Said, like,
Yeah.
Chinooka? Yeah, that was great. That was worth every penny. Happy
So what?
Chinooka.
Yeah, I'm going to repeat DJ's question here, Nando. What's your cameo rate?
Yeah, what's your cameo price?
Oh God, it would be like so expensive because I would hate it. And I do a lot of things like, Patreon and stuff that are like weird, kind of commodification or like kind of monetization of things that aren't just the plain old thing. But Cameo feels like just the lowest, the weirdest level. $1 million? No, not $1 million. $50,000, let's say. Where like if a crazy person, like a super, mega rich weirdo wanted it, then yeah, he can have it. But I would not want anyone else to cameo me.
You should get on Cameo and set that price.
You can't. I'm pretty sure it's not allowed. What I would love to do is do like $1 less than Don Jr. and then just like scoop him on price.
Is it like one of the biggest Cameo earners, like Kevin from The Office, for some fucking reason?
Oh yeah, people love The Office. It's so weird. Like it's fine, but it's like.
But why him? Why not Steve Carell or John Krasinski?
He doesn't do it. It's
I see.
Not everybody does Cameo.
It
would be great.
They're too famous. They're way too famous.
Yeah.
Kevin is willing. I don't even know the actor's name, but like Kevin is willing to.
Oh yeah, there's like a group of Office people that just like do this stuff. Like go to conventions. It's like Angela, him, Creed, and like Stanley, and it's this weird like perpetual Office verse. Honestly, it's very strange.
I mean,
nothing against the Office. It's fine.
I completely respect it on their part. If I could find a way to never have to work again, I would jump on that immediately.
Oh, for sure.
Well, you just have to be in one of the biggest TV shows ever and just not want to act again, I guess. You think they try to get acting gigs, but like it's no one will do it. Like,
I don't
no
know.
one will be like, okay.
Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe it's
that
like
can be a legitimate problem for people like in a show like that who are not big stars or anything. Because people can not see them as anything besides those characters anymore. Right. And then it becomes difficult to get cast in anything else because they're like, well, we don't want people to be thinking about The Office the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, some of them made it out, right? Like Mindy Kaling, she got out. Obviously, like Ed Helms, some of those other people that were already a little bit famous before.
Rainn Wilson was in fucking The Meg.
Yeah, clearly he's good.
The girl that sells purses is like Amy Adams or something. One of the episodes, right? Remember that?
Yeah,
I never watched The
Michael
Office,
hits on her.
So
I've watched all of it.
What?
I hate it, but I've watched it all.
I don't like
watch The
cringe
Office.
comedy. I don't like cringe comedy.
So you watch like Nathan For You or anything like that?
Nope.
Nathan For You is great,
Couldn't.
but
Like this is not a commentary on its quality. If you like it, I'm sure it's like impeccably made and everything. But can't stand Nathan For You. Can't stand It's Always Sunny. Can't stand anything where the primary form of comedy is things being really awkward. It's just not for me.
So how did you handle that in this movie? Because there were like some mega cringe parts of this movie.
Hold on. What about I Think You Should Leave? That's like all cringe.
Well, that's sketch comedy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's different. That's like
gotcha.
That's like in an insane level of heightened. Like, I am in no way being asked to treat these people as like real people.
Right.
But yes, how'd you handle the cringe parts of this movie? Because they were there. The Porky Pig rap for me was
no, that was the worst.
Unforgivable. I thought that was just the absolute worst thing.
Well, DJ, I would disagree that being called cringe comedy in the sense of it's not supposed to be so embarrassing that it's funny. It just is extremely embarrassing.
And not funny, in fact. It's the worst.
And it's not a rap battle. There's no rapping from the other side.
Yeah, Algorithm just accidentally raps or whatever.
He accidentally rhymes. He's not even rapping, because there's an element of singing there. He accidentally says, like, 2 sentences that rhyme. And that gets automatically counted as his entry in the rap battle.
Wouldn't it be fun if, like, Algorithm pulled in, like, 8 Mile and shit to do the rap battle against Porky Pig? Also, Porky Pig's rap isn't very good. Like...
No, it's not.
It's not good.
I mean, it's not, it feels like a very obvious thing when you just say the sentence. Like, why would it be?
That's a fair point. Because the characters in the movie think it's good. It wins them like 1 billion points.
Oh, yeah, they get so many points for that rap battle.
I don't hate Dom Ball, but I don't think Dom Ball exists as a vehicle to make the Looney Tunes cool. Or do good Looney Tunes thing. It like and that's a good example of why. That is good in Dom Ball, is Porky Pig does a rap, but that is bad in Looney Tunes. So like Dom Ball's bad. Same shit with the Matrix. Like that's the granny doing the Matrix is bad Looney Tunes, but good Dom Ball. So like fuck Dom Ball. I don't want to see that.
I think we got off track. We're supposed to talk about the cameos, right?
Oh yeah, the cameos. Just one, right? Just one.
The one obvious one. I don't know if there's
one non-basketball one non-basketball, non-Warner Brothers property one.
Oh,
yeah,
sure.
That's a good way to put it. So it's halftime, and of course the team has to be down on halftime because it's Space Jam. And then is it Sylvester or is it Foghorn Leghorn? Okay,
it's Sylvester,
the best one. Yeah.
I'm not going to try and do the voice.
Who, by the way, also. I want to point out that apparently the entire time that the Looney Tunes had abandoned Looney Tune World, which I don't think we ever actually said, the Looney Tune, everyone besides Bugs left Looney Tune World because Algorithm was like, go out and explore the Serververse, and they never came back. The entire time Sylvester has been out in the Serververse, he had eaten Tweety Bird.
Yeah.
And Tweety only gets out when they are all reunited and someone mentions, where's Tweety? And Sylvester just spontaneously vomits Tweety back up.
And we haven't mentioned this either, I don't know if it came up. He's Mr. Bigglesworth in the Austin Power verse.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe they worked that into Austin Powers. Mr. Bigglesworth eats somebody? Probably not. That doesn't happen in the real one.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's awful. Just awful.
It is awful.
But anyway, Sylvester, the best one.
Yeah, Austin Powers is an awful movie.
I think Sylvester has my favorite joke in the original Space Jam, where they're doing the planning to how to beat the Monstars.
They're Monstars!
I think that joke rules, and there's nothing even close to that here.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sweet.
That's fair.
Actually, you're right. That is a good joke.
It's so funny, and it's set up so well. And, that movie. That's why I think, like, the parts of Space Jam that don't work, or people don't like, or don't age well, I get it. But I do think just as a Looney Tunes movie, it's not bad. Okay, so Sylvester shows up halftime.
Yep.
And who to our wandering eyes does appear? Well,
he goes, guys, you'll never believe it. I got Michael Jordan. And then they play the music like the...
Yeah.
All right. How... All right. Be honest. Was there a second where either of you thought it was actually Michael Jordan? Spoiler alert, it wasn't.
Maybe
not
for a second.
I mean, it was Michael Jordan.
That's true.
Not the Chicago Bulls forward, Michael Jordan.
By the time I saw him, I was like by the time I saw like his shadow, I was like, that ain't him. I feel like if Michael Jordan cameoed in this movie, he would have shown up by himself.
I knew.
So there's something about the presentation that felt off, but I don't think I quite knew it wasn't him.
I knew immediately as soon as it's Michael Jordan. I'm like, Michael B. Jordan. And I'm not trying to brag, but I knew the joke immediately.
DJ can spot Michael B. Jordan a mile away.
I can, and you don't get spot a mile away. There was no fucking way Michael Jordan was showing up in this movie. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, that was kind of where I was too. It's like, unless they got some archival footage or something, he ain't here.
I thought maybe maybe Bill Murray would show up at some point just to, I don't know, complete the circle. Even then, I'm like, that's very unlikely, but I thought there was a chance. There was zero chance.
He was in that fucking Ghostbusters movie. Who does he think he is too good for Space Jam 2?
Yeah, right.
I mean,
I have a feeling
Space Jam 1, dog, with
I have a feeling they just didn't ask him to be in Space Jam 2, because this does not seem to be a movie that understands why Space Jam became a meme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Even though it's ostensibly capitalizing on it.
Right?
I mean, where could they have pulled Bill Murray from? What Bill Murray Warner Brother verse? Like, Zombieland? Is that a Warner Brothers thing? Where could they have gotten Bill Murray from in the Serververse if they wanted?
Well, I feel like maybe you find a way to, like, run it back where it's like, you know, it's like late in the fourth quarter, and I don't know, like fucking someone like breaks their leg, and that's right. Like everyone's like dead. It's like, oh, we can't do it,
right?
And then like I don't know, does Bugs Bunny go, I got a guy, and like he just like pulls Bill Murray out of a hole, and it's like Bill Murray, who's like I've been here since 1996, and just like play it off like that. Like why the fuck not? What?
Maybe
there's no rules. Who cares?
I mean, that would have been a good way. Bill Murray could have beaten Chronopolis Man or whatever by just Groundhog Day him to death. It's like, I could beat a time loop. You wouldn't even believe it. But also, maybe Bill Murray comes out and Bill Murray's like, or like Bugs is like, I got a ringer here. And then Bill Murray comes out and everybody's like, Bill Murray. And he's like, no, I can't remember the character's name, but I'm Fred. And then he sneezes out Osmosis Jones, and Osmosis Jones is the secret hero of the movie. Because, like, that's a Warner Brothers property, I'm pretty sure. And it's a cartoon, and it's Chris Rock, so that'd be fun, too. They even get David Hyde Pierce and Anthrax, the villain of the movie. Right? The villain of Osmosis Jones is Anthrax, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it is. You're correct.
Does Bill Murray get Anthrax?
I don't know.
Oh my god!
By being really unhealthy.
What I do know is the reason Bill Murray couldn't be in this movie is that he was too busy fighting for shirts with complicated patterns at Dan Flash's.
That's true. He's right at the creek right now, just losing his mind. He's one of the guys in the background, just following the pattern of the shirt. I feel like, I mean, the Michael B. Jordan cameo almost made me go like, oh, fuck, that's the movie. They think they get Michael Jordan, they get Michael B. Jordan, and he's a good actor. That'd be fun, you know? He could highlight a movie, like he could headline a movie. That'd be great. Nope.
That would be good.
Why didn't he play? He could have played. Bill Murray played for his cameo. Yeah.
Like, it should be like, I got Michael Jordan, and like he shows up, and everyone should be more positive. Like, not what I expected, but yeah.
Yeah, he's better than fucking Porky Pig, so let him do it. I don't know. Like, yeah.
You know what? Since we're on the Dom Ball game now, can I bring up something from the start of the Dom Ball game?
Yes, please. Let's do it. Let's talk about Dom Ball.
Let's talk about Dom Ball.
Well, I'm not really going to talk about Dom Ball, but this is just, if we're going roughly in the sequence of events, this is something that happens right before the Dom Ball game.
All right, so I'm going to pause the Let's Talk About Dom Ball segment. No, let's talk about Dom Ball right now, but we'll do that later. We'll do the Let's talk about before Dom Ball.
So part of the whole plot is while LeBron is gathering up his Toon Squad and training them, Algae Rhythm is spending time with Dom, LeBron's son, and using him to like get his proprietary face scanning technology and to use Dom Ball as the basis for the game they're going to play and make a bunch of monsters that they can have on their team and everything. Basically using him to like win this whole basketball game by stealing all his ideas, but making it seem like he's actually his friend, right? That's kind of the whole play that's going on here. At the start of the game, LeBron, to his credit, is like, Dom, like, Algae Rhythm's not your friend. But what LeBron does not say is, also, he's literally going to trap me, your mom, your brother, your sister, and like a billion other people in like a digital hell for the rest of eternity if we lose this game. So maybe maybe like try to throw it or something? I don't know. I feel like I should communicate the stakes to you instead of just that this guy sucks. Because he does suck, but also the stakes seem like they would matter more to you.
Yeah,
right?
Him sucking is not what's important right now.
Like, the way you write around that is... And I feel like... I thought they were going to do this for a while. Because there's that bit where, what's his name? Algorithm is like giving little Dom like a pep talk kind of while they're talking about his game, and he's talking about how great it is and whatever. And he's like, we're going to play your game. And here, I'm going to boost your stats. And he lets him boost his own stats. And it like is like, you want to go to 100%? And then he does. And there's like a lot of bullshit, like, you know, like magic that goes around him. And then he just has a different hoodie on and stuff. And I was like, oh, so he's going to turn him into a big monster man. And LeBron's not going to know it's his kid or something. He's going to lie to LeBron. And like, there's going to be a while where everybody's like, who's that guy? But no one can figure it out. But no, they just don't even... It's just like he's just there with a Goon Squad hoodie on, and he's better at dribbling than he was before. But
yeah, his handle's 100 instead of a 75.
Okay, so I want to talk about basketball slang here for a second.
Okay.
How much of that is real basketball slang?
Handle, that's like very much a real thing.
What's the other one that got me? Wet fire, I guess we kind of know. We explained that. Like, there would be no one would say, like, yo, that's wet fire right there.
Yeah, you would say, like, that shot is wet or that shot is fire.
Right.
I, like, guess those are options.
Okay. And Chronos.
I don't think I want anything
cool
I do to ever be described as wet.
Right. Like,
look, I'm just telling you, it's basketball slang. All right, it's all I got for you.
They gotta fix that. But yeah, can you imagine if you're like, all right, what's your guy? Your guy's gonna be a big bird, and your guy's gonna be he can be on water and fire, man. And we're gonna call him Wet Fire. Look, I mean, maybe he thought it was cool, but it's pretty weird.
You know what's like a low key fun part of the first Space Jam that this movie had like. Well, like, it couldn't, but it just didn't have it all.
All of
so,
it.
like, well, yeah.
Every single thing.
So something that's fun is that, like, the NBA players are, like, trying to figure out, like, what's wrong with them.
Oh, my God, that's the best part. It's so good.
When Charles Barkley plays pickup with, like, the kids, and he, like, sucks, and the girl's like, you're not Charles Barkley, you're just some fool who looks like him, and just, like, clowns him. Like, it's stuff like that this movie needed. Just, like, make fun of Charles Barkley for no reason. Like,
yeah. And I do.
There's plenty of reasons to make fun of Charles Barkley.
Yeah. All right, well, at the time, but
he's bald. I don't know.
Drunk driving.
Yeah. He's the
but
thing.
You guys get what I mean, right?
Oh, yeah, like, absolutely. I think the part of Space Jam that's so good, and one of the parts of this that stink, is watching Looney Tunes is great. In general, they're usually fun to watch. And in this movie, I don't think they're that fun to watch, but at least it's something. The great thing about Space Jam is, when you're not watching the Looney Tunes, you're doing stuff like that, and that's still pretty good. Like, watching the LA Lakers decide not to play because there's some sort of basketball disease going on. And, like, the scenes like that are pretty funny. Charles Barkley going to church and asking God to reverse the curse that he gave him is funny. And in this, it's just, like, the mom and the kids wandering around the lot, or like the friend being like, I lost LeBron. It's just like so boring. It made me want to go back to the fucking Casablanca movie or whatever. Yeah.
What are they doing in Casablanca verse? What happens after Ricky sells the club or whatever?
I mean, really, like, Rick and Morty being in this movie is perfect, because it's like, I just want to watch that now, actually, instead. Like, the second I saw them, I was like, I like Rick and Morty. I could just stop watching this right now. There's a new one, but then I didn't. But I could have.
You committed and made it to Domball.
I did. I made it all the way to Domball.
Seamless transition. Should we talk about Domball?
Let's talk about Domball. So, the Looney Tunes go to Domball. Domball is played on Looney Tunes Planet for fucking, I don't know. Most of the prep time is spent gathering the Looney Tunes. They go to Looney Tunes Planet, and then, like, have one small argument, and then Domball begins, which is
the thing
so
about
funny.
this movie is it sets explicit time limits, and then, like, very clearly has them not last as long as they're supposed to. Like, LeBron theoretically has a day to do all this, but the preceding events seem like they would take much less than a day, even taking time skips into account. And then they land to practice for an hour. He has a single conversation with Bugs, and the hour is up.
Yeah.
Like, there's not even a time skip there. It's literally, they land, they have an hour, he talks to Bugs, the hour is over. That is the full, like, in real time sequence of events.
It's pretty weird. And then Algorithm shows up, and he's like, hey, I'm going to turn you Tunes into live action for some reason. And they're like, that doesn't make any sense. We're on Toon Planet. And also,
right,
we're Looney Tunes. Like, I get Mr. Freeze being a person, but he's a person in his movie. Assume you're not going to turn the Iron Giant. I guess the Iron Giant isn't 3D.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
They react to being turned to 3D like it's like The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. They think it's horrifying.
Yes. And that's the other thing. When that happened, I'm like, oh, okay, he's taking away their Looney Tunes powers or something. Like, that's why this is bad for them, and that's why they're not going to be good at Downball. But that's not what it is either. They're still the Looney Tunes. They're just in 3D. And yes, they look okay, I guess. I think I don't love the animation in this movie generally, but I think the in-person Looney Tunes looked about as good as you can expect.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad.
I like how we're writing a better movie than we're given.
Well, it's just weird because this movie does a lot of things that it doesn't do anything with. Like it drops that into your lap, and it's like, and it only makes you think like that was probably in a draft. That was something, because this scene is in here, but there's no payoff, and that's what the payoff would have been. But then algorithm is like, I'm gonna call everybody from Warner Brothers, so that's the Iron Giant and friends. Nobody else,
and for no reason.
How big are these bots?
Yeah,
I fully acknowledge. By the way, my Bugs Bunny's terrible. You don't have to tell me. I know.
It's tough to do a Bugs Bunny impression. The other ones are a little easier.
Yeah, what's up, Jack? No, it was awful.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
That was okay. Michael Caine. Where's he? Why wasn't he in this? He could have been Batman's butler, Alfred.
None of us can do a Michael Caine impression. It's just sometimes he shows up.
Sometimes he shows up.
That's what I was saying. I figured if I said his name, he might just Beetlejuice in. But
no, that's like rude to think that Michael Caine is just at our beck and call. Like, he's Michael Caine. He's got shit to do.
All right, we definitely said his name 3 times, so he should show up soon. But
well, no, it's like Candyman. You've got to say it 5 times in a mirror.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever do that as kids?
No. I wasn't even aware it was a thing.
I had friends over, and we were like, let's do it. And yeah.
I think I did Bloody Mary at one point.
Biggie Smalls?
Oh, yeah, Bloody Mary is the one that I did. I don't actually... Is it the same rules, though? You just say it in front of a mirror in the dark or something, right?
Yeah.
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 Same thing with Biggie Smalls.
That's right. Biggie Smalls is
Why
the
do
same.
Why do you keep saying this? Is this a joke I don't understand?
Yeah, it's a South Park thing.
episode.
Oh, okay. Well, that's why I don't
it's
understand.
Definitely more ubiquitous than the Prince Dave Chappelle thing.
I mean, I would say the Prince Dave Chappelle thing is more ubiquitous than Biggie Smalls, the Bloody Mary reference within South Park. All right, everybody, you're gonna tweet me and DJ. God. You gotta tag both of us in this so I see it. Either Dave Chappelle GIF, anyone, or any South Park GIF. Let us know which one you think is more ubiquitous. But okay, so then all the guys come. And like I said, it's Scooby-Doo and the Scooby-Doo gang, the Iron Giant, and a bunch of noise. The Jetsons,
Did you guys notice
up, I think.
when LeBron is going to the studio at the beginning of the movie, the Scoop poster?
Scoop!
Yes!
Scoop is back! Because this movie, even when it's not overtly a commercial for Warner Brothers, it's subtly a commercial for Warner Brothers.
But I don't think the Scooby-Doos we saw in the movie were the Scoop ones. They looked a little different.
I know, but just the fact that they would use that period, we have to really talk about how much fucking Scooby-Doo's great, so I don't know.
Scoop is cool. Also,
it's a silly movie.
They did algorithm just open this up to everybody, and whoever wanted to come came, whoever didn't want to come didn't go?
Why did people come, period?
I don't know.
What was the game?
I get the villains, because they think this is fun because they're villains, but why did the Iron Giant come to this?
Pennywise is there because he loves suffering and feeds off of it.
Yes. Right, and Penguin and the ones from Clockwork Orange and stuff, they all make sense. And I would have bought it if he summoned all the villains, because he was like, oh, you guys gotta see what cool shit I'm gonna do. But what's Jabberjaw getting out of this? Do you think this is fun?
Why's Fred Flintstone here, huh?
Yeah. Also,
he just likes to be seen.
You have the real live Warner Brothers, DC villains, but there's no animated or real life Warner Brothers DC heroes. There is Space Ghost hovering around for some reason, but why is it Superman there? Is it because if he was there, he would help or something?
Yeah.
Because I don't see why the Iron Giant's just I hope they win this basketball game.
Warner Brothers is really committing to the fact that Superman will not be in any movies going forward.
Yeah, right.
He's not going to be part of anything.
Were you guys excited to hear who was playing Superman in this movie? When he showed up and you were like, he's going to speak. I wonder if it's going to be Henry Cavill.
Yeah, right.
And it was nobody.
You know, I think it's also kind of audacious to put King Kong in that crowd when King Kong's public domain.
Yes.
Yeah, right? More of a universal thing. I know it's not exclusive, but still.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they're currently making movies with him.
Yeah.
It would be like if a Dodge Charger pulled up and you'd be like, I guess it can be in it, but that's Vin Diesel's car. Like, yeah, it is really weird that King Kong's part of this. Do you remember what his ideal basketball team was?
It was like Iron Giant, King Kong, Superman. I forget who else.
I want to say Gandalf was in there,
He would
even
be
though
terrible at basketball. It'd be awful.
And then there was Trinity. Trinity was the fifth one, I think.
Okay.
But like, yeah, no Harry Potter characters. They didn't make any
none of them
appearances
would be good
whatsoever.
at basketball. Quidditch is so different. I just
That's
I don't
true.
think we get there. Basically, is what it comes down to.
I feel like Dumbledore could just light them all on fire or something. Like, they could do the fun magic, you know? Hagrid's tall. That makes him pretty good at basketball, but that's thinking creatively.
Yeah, Hagrid could probably dunk.
Oh, absolutely.
Poison Ivy'd probably be pretty good at basketball, right?
I think any of the... That's a great question. Who's the best Batman villain at basketball?
Catwoman's probably good.
Yeah, she played basketball in her movie against Benjamin Bratt.
Yeah.
I think Man-Bat can fly, so that offers him some sort of
that's
advantage.
Pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of the
Kite Man would be sick.
Yeah, that's true. I feel like Batman doesn't. I don't know if Sportsman's a Batman villain, but they probably should have hired him because he's within the DC realm. Just get Sportsman. This whole thing is he's good at sports.
Or Bloodsport.
Or a Bloodsport. Or Bloodshot. Is that a DC guy?
Man.
Might as well have been in this. What'd you guys think of the budget Warner Brothers cosplayers in the backgrounds?
It was the worst thing ever. I couldn't believe how, cheaply it was done. I don't know if it was supposed to be an homage or what the fuck, but I just thought it was very bad. So,
Yeah, it's pretty weird. I didn't like it. I liked seeing Mr. Freeze in his little bathrobe, but...
Is that who that was? Right behind Don Cheadle? I couldn't figure out who that was supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, there's that scene in that movie where he's, hanging out at his ice cream factory lair and he's making everyone sing the Heat Miser song. And he's wearing, an outfit similar to that one, where he's, kind of dressed like, I don't know, Hugh Hefner. I feel like I kind of would have liked maybe more of that if they had taken, picked a couple of guys and focused on them. I feel like we could have done, Joker from the Nicholson movie, and then a crew of his weird art goons and stuff, and just that could have been a big, instead of just peppering in randos. I would have maybe liked that, Voldemort, and then a bunch of his Death Eaters and stuff. Who gives a shit about the mask? Why is he there? Did they go to a Halloween store or something and pick up what was available?
He'd be good on the team.
He'd be great. He's a cartoon man too. He should know the Looney Tunes.
He uses toon powers and stuff.
Yeah. You could even just get the mask from him. Be like, give me the mask, please.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's true.
Also, you could get Jamie Kennedy, son of the mask, and Loki, the villain of that movie. You guys ever watch that movie?
Yes.
Oh, it's bad. It's a bad movie.
It's very bad.
I've barely watched the first Mask movie.
Diggins, you gotta watch The Mask, you gotta watch Chappelle's Show, you gotta watch The Office, you gotta watch South Park. There's so much for you to watch.
The first Mask almost kind of holds up, except it doesn't. But it's still kind of fun to watch because it's a lot. And Jim Carrey's funny in it, but it's also kind of whatever. Probably doesn't hold up super well.
Yeah.
But anyway, the game is going badly for the Toons, and then they all... LeBron's play basketball like Looney Tunes, because I guess I don't know what Space Jam, I didn't see the first one of these, so we're gonna relearn that lesson.
And it's great because I think his realization is he sees Don Cheadle yelling at his son because the game's getting a little, I don't know, something, and he's like, oh fuck, this is not good, we all gotta be loony. That was when I was a kid and I was abused verbally. Remember when that happened?
And you're barely abused verbally, LeBron. The guy was like, hey, stop playing video games. Yeah. We're doing basketball.
A little bit of get your shit together, which is fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's pretty weird.
Yeah. Dom Ball. They Dom Ball.
Well, heck, the best part of Dom Ball, Don Cheadle joins the Dom Ball. and becomes a big giant yoked David.
Oh
Flick.
my god!
His
becomes a
head
giant
was so
PS4 model of Don Cheadle.
Yeah. Homunculus Cheadle. It's so good. It's just the worst thing I've ever seen. And I was kind of waiting for this. I was like, oh, he's going to play and he's going to have some weird form. But I figured it would be more than just bigger Don Cheadle.
Or
that's what it was.
If you're going to make bigger Don Cheadle, make it so he's like 200 feet tall.
Yeah. Extra arms for basketball. I don't know.
Like, he made himself smaller than LeBron James. Like,
why isn't he always that tall?
Yeah.
Is he like, I want to be as tall as Don Cheadle is, but when it's inconvenient, I'll be taller. But not always. So take some of my magical concentration away. Also, it would have been great if at the end he just hired all the other Don Cheadle characters Warner Brother owns. It's like Basher from Ocean's 11 could have come and helped and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been fun. They all get to look at each other and go like, wow, handsome guy over here. Yeah, I know. Man, it's weird that this movie's got Batman and Mr. Freeze is in it twice, you know? We see like Arnold Schwarzenegger and we watch a bit with the Thing. He's like in the background. That's weird to me.
Terrible movie. Just
terrible.
I liked it.
So they win Dom Ball. Do you guys remember how they win Dom Ball?
Defending it.
We're not talking about the parts I liked.
What are those?
We're talking about every part of the movie, DJ.
Yeah, what's left?
I liked the jokes. Made me chuckle when they happened.
Like which one?
Like,
give me a joke.
Okay, like
I'm not,
when they do the thing, when they're doing the little early Looney Tunes montage, and they do like the pause, and they do like the faux Latin names for LeBron and Bugs Bunny. I was like, that's funny. Like when Marvin the Martian keeps getting slammed on by the ramp of his spaceship. I'm like, that's funny.
That was a decent joke.
Yeah, and just like shit like that. And it made the movie enjoyable enough for me. I like when Daffy goes, shoot the ball, and he shoots it with a gun. But I love that like full on gun jokes are like totally okay, but everything else not. We can do full on like fucking let's go guns jokes, but you know, God forbid we put Pepe Le Pew in this movie.
Well, and didn't they like take some of the gun like I feel like there was a point where like Elmer Fudd stopped using a gun or something in like the real cartoons.
I guess
like
but
they moved away from it.
Yosemite Sam had his guns, like no problem.
Yeah,
like rabbit season, duck season. We know what we're implying. You know?
Oh my god, can you imagine if they did like they just started shooting like the different animals or like the brow man out of the sky with their guns. He just fell to the ground and died.
I was kind of hoping when they were doing the duck season, rabbit season thing that Bugs would pull off a rabbit season sign and it would say LeBron James season.
Oh yeah.
Man, we keep writing a better movie than what was given to us.
Well, also,
so
like,
talented.
The bits summon other Looney Tunes, right? Like, the bit, starting the Marvin the Martian bit summons Marvin the Martian. So you'd figure that's how you summon Daffy, you know?
Right, exactly, yeah. Yeah, there are rules that are introduced, but then forgotten immediately, which is weird.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Also, you know what fucking pissed me off? Let's talk about the worst thing in the movie. This is absolutely...
We already talked about Porky Pig rapping.
Worse than that. As someone who likes the original Space Jam and thinks this is a stupid idea, I was still willing to give it a little bit of like, maybe it'll be good. I don't know. You never know. You never know with these, 22 Jump Streets and Lego movies, and sometimes like a unnecessary sequel or a shameless IP machine can also be good. Remember how in this one... the Monstars, like Nerdlux, were on the bad guy team?
Oh, yeah.
What? At the end of the other one, they're good. They hang out with the Looney Tunes. Why are they now bad?
They become like honorary Looney Tunes.
Yeah. They're like having a great time, and I get maybe they like don't want to do that anymore because none of them do. But like, they don't want the Looney Tunes all to die, I assume.
Yeah, right?
Well, apparently they do, Nando. That's what the canon of this movie tells us.
Right? Like, that would have been fun if the fucking Looney Tunes recruited the Monstars for part of it, you know?
Yes.
Oh, it would have been so good if they, like, switched the basketball. Oh, man. Rewrite this. We're adding a new scene. The Looney Tunes, like, do a little secret bit where they're, like, I don't know, futz around and you don't really see what they're up to. And then they, like, pass the ball and it gets stolen by all the super monster player guys. And then it turns out it's the talent stealing ball. And then the Monstars get it. That would have been awesome. And then they're cool. And then we get an army of 50 Don Cheadles versus Looney Tunes and the Monstars with superpowers. It's so
there
cool.
should have been more tricks in this movie. You're right, Nando. This movie lacked tricks and like gimmicks and stuff.
Like, it's weird how unimaginative some of it was.
Yeah.
And it's not that weird because it's a movie written by an algorithm about an algorithm.
Algae rhythm.
Yeah.
Nando. Algae rhythm.
What do you guys want to see from the third one of these that'll probably happen? Because this movie made a decent amount of money.
Stop making these. No, because the problem is, it's
Well, if
always
they're
going to be like,
not going to make it for another 25 years when the next greatest basketball
Yeah.
player of all time emerges.
That would be
well,
good.
I don't know if we'll get anyone better than LeBron though. Like, am I being too myopic?
I'm sure we
'Cause-
thought that at Michael Jordan times. I feel
I know,
we'll
but,
we'll probably get someone better.
I mean, once they legalize steroids in basketball, there's definitely going to be someone better than LeBron.
Well, that's true. It's like, yeah, right.
Yeah, I feel like we'll get someone that's like better than LeBron, or at least maybe even not. They don't even have to be better than LeBron. They just have to be clearly the most famous basketball player at that moment.
That's
like,
true.
well,
That
they
might
would
be
get a
all
Space
that
Jam.
it takes.
Yeah. Because LeBron isn't, like, he's good, but he's not, like, his basketball ability has nothing to do with why he's in this movie. It's mostly
Yes,
for
that
marketing
is true.
purposes that the computer wants him to be in it. Like, yeah.
I mean,
Like,
that's
what
true
if-
of Michael
what if-
Jordan also. Like, yeah, he was one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but the reason they made a movie with him is because he was also a brand.
Right. Well, but at least in that movie, it's like, we want the guy who, you know, the Looney Tunes recruit a basketball player. In this, it might as well be any celebrity who is high on the list of algorithm, you know, awareness.
How about when cartoon LeBron falls into the ground and it's the Nike swoosh that is left there?
Oh, boy.
That was awful.
That was great. That was good. I like the only thing I like more than brands, characters, or brand logos. Show me as many logos as possible.
I also have to say, it's a shame that like LeBron couldn't care enough to be in the movie more. Because like he was animated for so much of it.
Yeah.
And like at least Michael Jordan did the whole movie.
I wonder if that's part of it. If they were like, you can do the Space Jam movie, but we'll animate you for most of it, so you don't have to be on the set.
Oh, like that's how they got him in? Yeah, probably.
I wonder if that was a selling point. I bet it was.
He's like, just need some voice acting.
Nothing against LeBron, man. Just, you know.
I have a few things against LeBron. He acted very poorly in this movie, and it lessened my experience.
It's not, you know, and that's the thing, and that's why I think this movie, you know, stinks. It's not playing to anyone's strengths at any point. It's not playing to Looney Tunes' strengths. It's not playing to LeBron's strengths. Like, he's not a good actor. Like, he's not an amazing actor, so don't make him do the acting. Like, the Looney Tunes aren't getting amazing Looney Tunes things to do. Like, yeah, I don't know what I want. If they had to make a sequel in like
doesn't
5
get
years.
to do Emmy nominated turns as War Machine, saying basic exposition for 30 seconds and then leaving.
Yeah, he doesn't get to do his silly British accent we all love from Ocean's 11 or 12 or 13.
I do think he put a good effort in this movie. Like I thought Don Cheadle had like a very strong performance.
He's clearly trying.
He's dumb as fuck.
Oh yeah,
he's clearly trying, but he's horrifically miscast.
Absolutely.
Oh god, yeah.
He should get an Academy Award for this, for just like effort. There should be some sort of like participation trophy for movies,
like wins over replacements. Like
yeah,
you played so above your head that we just have to give you an award.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I feel like if they're doing another one of these, I don't know. I feel like they don't need to be basketball movies anymore. I don't know who's the next biggest athlete on the planet, but like just do that. Do a different movie. Do baseball.
Do soccer. Soccer's like the biggest sport, so you have to do, I don't know what you'd call it, but
Space Jam. Doesn't matter. Space Jam 3.
Yeah, I guess, right. Yeah, fuck it. It's soccer this time.
Yeah, and then maybe
that's the subtitle. Space Jam 3. It's soccer this time.
Yeah. Maybe they could recruit Air Bud. That would be fun. Is that within the Warner Brothers license? Actually, I think that's a Disney thing.
Somebody owns Air Bud, which is actually a gigantic franchise.
Yeah.
Although it's mostly about his Air Bud's kids now.
We had a whole...
It's made,
we had a whole
saga
kids. Back in the mostly...
that's true.
In the fucking Mad Bracket Sass days. We had a whole fucking saga.
And they go to space, so they could Space Jam.
Space Jam.
I don't know. I do think you could do a Michael B. Jordan one where he's involved, but it's too late because they already did it. Like, enough.
I do like the idea for sequels, are just like Space Jam, but like, you know, soccer, or Space Jam, but you know, baseball, or Space Jam. Oh, it's Olympics now.
Yeah, like Space Jam, where we actually have fucking Superman and Harry Potter playing basketball. Like, that's kind of interesting. That's different. Maybe it'd be fun. Like, even there's that one bit where LeBron James says, like, we'll get the Iron Giant and he can play with Superman because that's his idol. And, like, it's a dumb line. But, like, conceptually, not the worst thing in the world. It's the same thing with Ready Player One. There's nothing wrong with that. But they do the most boring things with these giant IP mega mashes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They should all watch fucking Spider-Verse and all the Lego movie ones. Everything those guys make, and then just have them do it.
Wasn't the Lego movie Warner Animation? Isn't it like those guys?
Yes.
Or is it different guys?
Yeah, it was. But then they lost the Lego license or something like that. Which I don't think means they couldn't have done it, but they, yeah. There's guys that do this now. Like, there's people that I would trust with this idea as, like, fun writers. Like, take the Loki people. Give them a shot. They're good at, like, this weird, not like genre bending, but this super self-aware comedy. I don't know. How many writers do you think this movie had?
Oh, God. So many. They called it all the different ones that were on the Warner, payroll.
Five. All right, let's see. It's a tough one because it's like, oh my God. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 based on Space Jam written by. So those 4 don't count.
Okay.
There are, wow. There are 4 story by credits, and those 4 story by credits also have a screenplay by credit and 2 other people. So technically 6 writers on this movie.
Damn, I was
and
really
none
close.
of them are the director, so I'm almost going to say 7. Yeah, that's
apparently
insane.
the director was a replacement after the original director quit, and they were given... He was given 4 days to familiarize himself with the material before he had to get to work.
That's so funny. I like that, because then maybe he was like, I've never seen Mad Max. Let me just watch one clip on YouTube. And then they were like, what's he going to do in the Mad Max-averse? And he'd be like, he jumps off the thing, and he says, witness me. And then that's it. I think that's all we need.
Yeah, somehow Chrome?
Yeah,
Chrome, right?
Casablanca, play piano, right? That's the whole movie? And they were all like, yes, that is part of it. Correct. Perfect. You're wonderful, Malcolm. Yeah, we will get this in the future, though. I think Disney fucked this up with Wreck-It Ralph, but I kind of would like a Disney version of this.
God. I think it's just as... Well, it's not just as egregious because it's not so blatant, but it's pretty there.
I feel like you simply cannot do this without the attendant pig farmer serving watered down hog slop issues coming with it. Because the only way that you get a giant brand willing to put all its IPs on the line for something is if they think that they can, just churn out some disgusting hog slop that they can sell to the fucking pigs they don't respect, that is the viewing public, for a quick buck.
It's a great point.
Great point, Diggins. Great point to end on.
Great point. All right.
Pig slop.
Do you guys want to get to our classic segment?
I think so.
Okay, DJ, do you have anything to recommend to the fine people?
I do. So going with the theme of LeBron James and basketball, I'm going to go with a very basketball and very LeBron James recommendation.
Ooh, new Space Jam.
Space Jam!
I just made one of those.
So... I've talked before about a YouTube channel called Secret Base, which is run by SB Nation, and they've recently put out like a 3-part YouTube series, probably totals like 2.5 hours, so like basically the length of a movie, and it's called Rewind, and what it does is it looks at the entire like lifetime of the Cleveland Cavaliers from inception until they won their first and only championship in 2016 with the help of LeBron James, and evaluates everything from like the micro of the insane shit that happened in that series and in the game 7 where the Cavs were down 2-1 to like the macro stuff of how in like the 70s the owner was so bad and the team almost got moved to Toronto. And it's like, it's insane that Cleveland won a championship, given the fact that like all this shit happened, and it's like a really good deep dive. The Secret Base guys always do like really good shit like this, but like I don't know, as like a sports fan, and it's fun to look at sports history sometimes. It was just pretty crazy to see how these events unfolded and like how LeBron finally won a championship for Cleveland, and it's like a really good watch. It's in 3 parts. It's on the Secret Base YouTube channel. And it's called Rewind. And yeah, I think it's like really good, and would absolutely recommend it. It's in like 3 parts. So like the first part is like the Cavs' early years through like the 70s and 80s with their like really shitty owner. And then the second part is like how the Cavs were so close to a championship, but like Michael Jordan just ruined them. And then the last part's about how like LeBron James finally gets them a championship, but not before like breaking Cleveland's heart in two. And yeah, it's like a really good watch if you like sports or any kind of history or stuff like that. But I really enjoyed it, and I think it's a good watch. But as with all of our recommendations, you can't watch it before you watch every Nando v Movies thing on YouTube. So you have to watch that first before you watch this on YouTube. Those
Very
are the
good.
rules.
Just like you have to listen to every Mostly Nitpicking before you follow any of our podcast recs.
That's
Yes,
right.
exactly.
Diggins, what about you? You got anything to recommend?
I do. I went and saw a movie this week, and anybody who knows me knows that I was going to see this movie. For you see, it's a movie about a man who lives out in the Oregon wilderness with his truffle pig, hunting for truffles. But his truffle pig gets kidnapped and brought to Portland, and so he's got to go there to rescue his truffle pig. And the reason why anyone who knows me will know that I saw this movie is because that man is played by one Nicolas Cage.
Mm-hmm. How is it? Is it great?
It is great, but I gotta say, you just heard that description I gave, and you probably got an impression of what this movie has, based on that description and the fact that it stars Nicolas Cage. Now, there's many things you could be assuming. I'm here to tell you that they're all wrong.
Okay.
To the point where I don't even really want to spoil this movie too much. I don't want to, like, say too much about what it's like. It's a genuinely, like, really great, interesting movie that goes in a lot of directions you're not expecting. Not in, like, a plot twist sense. But just in terms of its tone and its style and what it's going for. It's much more thoughtful than probably what you're picturing. So if you think you'd be into a weird movie where Nicolas Cage is looking for his truffle pig, I think you should watch Pig. The movie's just called Pig, and I don't want to say too much more about it because part of what makes it so good is that feeling of discovery, of like realizing what this movie is.
Yeah, I have heard very good things about it, so I probably like watch that. Is that on like the home release yet, or is it just in theaters?
It just came out in theaters like a week ago when this comes out, because I just saw it this past Friday from when we're recording, and that was like when it came out. So it's probably not gonna be on like on demand for at least like a few weeks, depending on how they're doing its release.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm reading it now. It says it is not online yet, but I hope it is soon because I do want to check this out. Cool. Do you think maybe is this a Warner Brothers movie? Can Pig be in the next Space Jam?
Yeah.
Porky Pig and Pig?
Well, it's a neon movie, but you know, who knows how much longer indie, even like big business indie studios are gonna last before they're all bought up by Disney or Warner or Universal. So who knows?
That's true. Yeah, good chance we'll see Pig in the next one of these. Maybe it'll just be a scene, or like Porky Pig is Pig. And he went to the Pigiverse.
Oh my
That'll
God.
probably be it. Or Petunia Pig. Where is Petunia Pig, by the way? Porky
Petunia
Pig's
Pig?
girlfriend. Yeah. That's her name,
Has a
right?
girlfriend?
Yeah. She has like pigtails. I think her name's Petunia Pig.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, I have to look this up now.
Yeah, she's Porky Pig's girlfriend. She's been around forever. Where's she at? Porky?
I don't know.
Do it right
In
by
the
your
same
lady.
purgatory that Pepe Le Pew is.
Yeah, she's probably in like some fucking other movie. What's the weirdest? She's probably in that movie where the nuns are evil or whatever. She's great. Cool. I'm gonna rank a couple things real quick. Haven't watched too many new movies or anything like that. Going through Curb again. That show's great. I finally read. Yeah, I mean it's on HBO. It's like a fun, nice short watch. Like short episodes. I read DC Meets Looney Tunes, the book. think I talked about this before, but it's the
Yes, you did.
comic. Yeah, I've read more of it. It's very good. It should have been this movie. Besides that, a couple new comics came out this week that I have read that I'm excited about, or haven't read but I'm excited about. Book called Superman and the Authority by Grant Morrison. Looks like a lot of fun. New Booster Gold and Blue Beetle series dropped. Nightwing's very good. Catwoman's very good. A lot of good DC stuff, which is not unusual, but usually my pull list is like nothing but Marvel. I did read a book that I think I was talking about last week that I hadn't read yet. So like the first couple of issues are out, called The Nice House on the Lake, which is a book. It's a comic by James Tynion IV. And it is really, really good. I wouldn't call it horror. I would say it's closer to suspense. And it's hard to explain why, but it's just like really so good that everyone should read it. Not like everyone should read it, but if you're curious, just read it. Don't look into it, kind of like Diggins with Pig, because it's very interesting. And by the first issue, you'll probably be hooked. But if you're not, then it's not for you. But like, I think the big kind of the actual pitch for what this is very fun and shouldn't be spoiled. So it's like currently on only its second issue now. So it's like, yeah, but it's the new hotness. So definitely check that out. Yeah. Anything to plug, DJ?
Typical Roses and Rejections plug. We the most recent episode we covered just the most recent Bachelorette episode. We got Hometowns next week, so that'll be good. And then Sexy Beast comes out actually today, the day we're recording. So I'll probably have that for the next episode. And then F-Boy Island comes out a week after that. And then like Bachelor in Paradise comes out like 2 weeks after that.
Oh, the F-Boys.
They are moving.
They can be in the next Space Jam. Because that's a Warner Brothers thing.
Yeah, put the F-Boys in there.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the trailer for F-Boy Island? It looks amazing. It looks so good.
No,
I know it's
I'm
called
still
F-Boy Island.
so furious about the name that I refuse to look at any
It's
media
not
related to
F-Boy
it.
Island.
They're cowards,
Maybe they're not.
CJ.
Maybe they're not fuckboys. Maybe they're F-boys. It's something else. Like they'll be furries, and then it's like all the girls are on the island, and then they're like a bunch of guys show up and they're all furries. That'd be so good. And then it's like there's 2 furry dating shows. Oh my god.
The cool thing that I didn't realize the premise for F-Boy Island is there's a cash prize, and some of the guys are there for the cash prize, not for the like women's hearts. So it's like it's 24 guys that split half and half. Half are looking for love, half are there for that sweet, sweet cash. So there's just gonna be a little chicanery that like goes on. So
That's fun. So it's like a secret,
right? Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like you're guessing the whole time. So it's like, will you be able to find the F boy?
Oh, do the Cash Boys all know they're all the other Cash Boys? Like, are they able to work together?
That's not clear. I don't think the Cash Boys know that they're the Cash Boys.
If I work together, I don't mean like have a big orgy with the girls. I mean like strategize.
Well, if you're a Cash Boy, you have to convince the women that the Love Boys are actually the Cash Boys. Like,
right.
That'll be interesting, right? Yeah.
I feel like if you got pulled into a room with a bunch of guys and you were one of the women, they'd be like, "Yeah, I think John's a Cash Boy, not a Love Boy." You'd be like, "Okay, you're all Cash Boys then. Out with you." So the game theory would like really rack up on itself.
It's being hosted by Nikki Glaser, who's awesome. She's so funny. So like, I'm pretty excited for that.
Cool. Diggins, what about you? Anything to plug?
Just the usual. You can, I'm a newsletter at alittleperspective.substack.com. And I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/thisisanodname. Been off that for a little bit because I'm visiting family and that makes it harder, but I should be back soon, either or both, with some more Disco Elysium, and I think I'm going to start up a new game soon that I got recently that I have never played before, but I'll leave that as a mystery until I start actually doing it.
Is it Ori and the Will-O-Wisp Blind Forest, whichever one is first and then second?
No, I mean, I would play those games. I love Metroidvanias, but that's not what I'm talking about here.
Is it Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Destinies?
Yep, you nailed it.
Man.
You got it in your second guess.
That's
Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's so exciting. I can't wait to watch you play Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual Destinies. It's pretty fun.
I was trying to explain to Hannah this weekend the virtues of Yu-Gi-Oh! Like why it's awesome. It's so hard without sounding like a crazy person. Just like, no, you don't get it. I get that it's a card game, but they all go to an island owned by this, like, Michael Jackson, Walt Disney guy, and they fight for stars. And there's a card game, but the rules of the card game don't make any sense. And even though they don't make any sense in the universe, everyone thinks they do. It's a great show. Like, easily. I don't think it, like, holds up, but I think it's awesome. That'll be a different podcast. Talking Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
I was gonna say I put out a video like today about why Black Widow's fight with the Red Guardian wasn't that great, and stuff. Although I did mostly like that movie, like we said last week. I also wrote an episode for the channel, extra credits about why there aren't any good video game movies yet. And that video is great, and they animated like a little version of me in the style of their guys. And my hair in that is amazing. So that is reason enough to watch it. Besides that, nothing, no other new exciting stuff. Next week, what are we doing?
Fucking Snake Eyes.
Oh my god, amazing. Oh my god, you guys, have you seen the reviews?
No.
For Old?
Old?
No.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. It's like...
Why?
It's being compared to The Happening. It is everything I hoped it would be. Yeah. It could be great. It could be terrible. It could be... Oh, I just can't wait. I really do think I'm going to see it in the theater, but...
So wait, are we doing Old or are we doing Snake Eyes?
No, we're doing Snake Eyes, but just I'm obsessed with Old. I mean, if everybody sees Old, we could probably talk about it, but Snake Eyes is next week's movie. So...
Okay.
Is that an in-theaters one only, too?
I believe so.
Yeah. So
because I don't think Paramount's putting it on Paramount Plus.
That's true. So that's pretty good. So maybe it's a fun double feature. I don't know which one to see first. Snake Eyes and then Old, or Old and then Snake Eyes? Like, is Snake Eyes the palate cleanser? Or is Old, like, you know, do you need the sugar before the medicine? I don't know.
I would do Snake Eyes as the palate cleanser. I think you just wrap it up with your dumb nonsense.
I mean... I think you want to watch Snake Eyes and then Old because you'd rather watch the bad movie that's just boring before the bad movie that's crazy.
Maybe Snake Eyes will be fun. We don't know. It might be good.
Well, like,
I don't
Henry
know.
Golding's
Snake Eyes
a
might
good
be
actor.
Snake Eyes might be
Like,
good. I'm just so tired of cinematic universes that I'm not looking forward to it.
I feel that.
That's understandable.
I think I do
Hey,
have
at least I was just gonna say, at least Jungle Cruise is a one-off.
Sure. They don't want to make 15 Jungle Cruise movies. That's not their... I feel like every pitch in Disney that's made all of these movies, like every single one of them like this, has been like, all right, it's a little bit like Pirates of the Caribbean. Follow me. And then they just go from there. Because that's definitely what this is. I haven't seen any reviews for Snake Eyes yet, so who knows? But yeah, I
think those are embargoed, of course.
Yeah, it's a shame because maybe they're great, but man, Old. And then the Val Kilmer documentary is out this week. It's supposed to be real good.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. And then anybody watch Gunpowder Milkshake? A couple people mentioned that to me. I hear it's okay. I kind of want to check it out. But we will get to all of that next week. And by all of that, I mean mostly Snake Eyes, and maybe I'll talk about Old. Until then, I am at Nando V Movies on Twitter.
I'm at Zippy by Day.
I'm at This Is an Odd Name.
Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Woohoo!
Bye. We love you.